Wake up! It is time. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is, I know you say it is way too early for this on a Friday, but too bad. This is the way too early for a Friday podcast. I am John Greaves III, as you can see on screen. I am the host of Garage Gym Life. This is the only home gym morning show on YouTube, or quite frankly, this may be the only home gym morning show anywhere. We have got a packed segment here for you, a group of segments here for you guys today. Got some cool stuff here. I have got, let's see, we got the Friday dance party that's coming up next. I've got as usual, one of our favorite segments, What Are You Doing in Your House? Featuring your home gym workout clips, and that's going to be happening at around 7:05. Then at 7:30, Will Whitman from HomeGrown Lifting is going to be joining the show to talk about HomeGymCon and also talk about his bumper plates and other products that they have. Then at 8:05, we're going to be joined by Ashton Ferrazo from Freedom Fitness Equipment. And Ashton is going to be giving us an update on a little power rack project that I assigned him. I basically wanted Ashton to help me out with this. And so I cannot wait to see what he has found, like to see what sort of progress he's made. Also, I am going to be doing at 9:05, we're going to be doing a breakdown of the cost to go to HomeGymCon. I keep on hearing from people that HomeGymCon is too expensive, and I've had people have been throwing numbers around to me like it costs like $2,500 to attend. And this will be my second year going. I live around 400 plus miles from HomeGymCon, and we drove. So my wife and I were looking at each other like, how are these people managing to spend almost $3,000 on HomeGymCon tickets? So we're going to be talking about that. I'm just going to tell you what my cost breakdown is, and I'll show you guys what it actually cost me to attend HomeGymCon this year. And then at 9:15, we're going to have that'll be our final segment where I'm going to break down my criteria for selecting a coach. So I think that getting a coach, no matter what you're going to be doing, like I have a coach right now that I use for mobility work, okay? And that person, I didn't just select them randomly. I studied them for a while first. I actually ended up interviewing them because I thought they were pretty interesting. But I'll tell you what my criteria is for selecting a coach based on what I've used to select everyone who's ever taught me anything, from my martial arts instructor to my powerlifting coach, to the mobility coach I have now, to people that have helped me out with my diet, all of that. All right. So you want to stay tuned for all of that. But first things first, let's check out who is in the chat. I'm seeing the comments coming in fast and furious, and I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and let's check you guys out in the chat. My man, Coach Carp, look at you up early. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, but Carp's gym is here anyway. My man checking in. Let's see here. We got my guy Matt Welch. And let's do our world clock. I need to see what time it is for Matt, because Matt's in London. So let's see here. Let's pull up the phone. It is 11:03 in London. All right, nice. You're almost halfway through with your day, Matt. Appreciate you joining us as usual once again. And let's see here, Coach Carp. This is actually your first time on the show, being part of the show. So I appreciate you being here. You definitely don't want to miss next week, because Jonathan, I'm saying this because you said checking in, and our boy Jonathan from Note Fate 24/7 will be here checking in. So you definitely don't want to miss that. All right. And let's see here. But if this is your first time on the show, I want you to know that this is not a show that you have to sit still and watch. Instead, I designed it so you can roll out of bed, turn it on, and have it on your phone, go in the shower, brush your teeth or whatever, and have it playing on the phone. Then you can have it in your ears, like on your AirPods, your headset, or something like that, as you're going around, making breakfast, getting your day started. Get in the car, listen to it on your way to work, and then pull it up on your laptop if you're allowed to have it at work, playing at work, or you sneak and have it on your phone if you're at work. The point is you can just listen, okay? Most of the stuff that we'll be talking about is stuff you can just listen to. And if it's something that, you're driving and you don't see it, you can always come back and catch it on the replay. But first, there's only one way to get you people woken up, and that is one of my favorite segments, and that is the Home Gym Dance Party. Let's go right now.
Yourself up. You've been knocked down. Get yourself up. You've been
my guy, CBS True Consumer Reviews. What's up, Carlos? Carlos, Carlos is in the building. Yeah, and Carp, yeah, my man, Big Jonathan is here. So the Friday Dance Party is sponsored by Freedom Fitness Equipment, your number one resource for finding new and used home gym equipment. No matter where you are, what you're looking for, my guy Ashton can hook you up. He is so experienced in finding equipment. He was at HomeGymCon last year, and the dude is a resource man. He can get you the exact equipment you need to create the best gym in town. See what I did there? Get equip you with the best gym in town right there in the comfort of your home. So whether you are starting from scratch or you're looking to upgrade, give Ashton a call at 980-216-4860 or just hit him up on the contact form at freedomfitnessequipment.com. Tell him what you're looking for, and he will get to work right away to find the perfect piece for your needs. So yeah, that is it. And shout out to everybody who's in the Friday dance party. That's Eat Lift Run at Eat Lift Run Yoga at Mrs.Knowles27 at Zumba _ Malay 911 _ Japan at Garage _ Power and at Elisa _ Andretta. Appreciate all you guys for being a part of the Friday dance party. You guys want to make sure that if you want to be a part of the Friday dance party, all you have to do is tag at Garage Gym Life on Instagram to have your home gym dance video featured, and you will be part of the next Friday dance party. So if you tag me on a Monday, that next Friday you'll be in there. If you tag me on Friday, then obviously you'll have to wait a week. It'll be in the next dance party. But I love showing that stuff. And also, one more thing. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I need help from each and every one of you guys to do it. So please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and help me reach that goal of 50,000 subscribers, because the more subscribers I have here on YouTube, the more I can get cool guests to come on. And if you are on Facebook, you're watching on Facebook, number one, thank you for being here. You can also follow my Facebook page, Garage Gym Life, and make sure that you are sharing the video with your friends. I also, as you guys see, that I'm taking comments. Most of the comments that are coming in right now are coming in from YouTube. But if you're watching on Facebook, you can also comment. So I don't want you to feel left out of the conversation, especially when Will joins us at 7:30 and Ashton comes on at 8:05. You guys can ask them questions directly. That's one of the cool things about this format. It's like I said, I wanted us to have like a morning radio show, but for home gyms, right? So we talk only about the stuff you want to talk about. But then one of the things I don't like about the radio is if you're listening to the radio and they have a guest come on and you have something you want to ask the guest, or the guest says something you're not really sure, you want clarification, there's not really a way for you to ask the guest a question, because the guest is usually calling in on the phone. So the phone line's busy, so you can't call in. So I wanted to have the ability for you guys to be able to interact with the guests live. So it's sort of like an AMA / radio show / morning show / YouTube podcast. And so I appreciate all you guys for being here. Let's jump back into the comment section before we go into our next segment here. Let's spend some time talking to you guys here. Let's see. CBS True Consumer Reviews, who has an awesome YouTube channel, by the way, does a lot of tech reviews. You guys need to check him out. Not necessarily all home gym stuff, but a lot of different tech reviews. He does movie reviews. It's really an eclectic mix of good stuff to check out. And he says he's feeling morning. All right. Yo, Carlos, CBS True Consumer, you want in on that dance party? My man, you know how to do it. All you got to do is post a video on Instagram and tag at Garage Gym Life, and you will be added to it. I'm telling you, man. We don't, and it's not always hip hop. Sometimes, so like we did the Gap Band last week. I'm telling you, I got an eclectic mix of stuff. All right. Carp's Jim's got a question. Said, did I get my wife some more pink flamingo bumpers for Valentine's Day? No, I didn't actually. So, what I got her was one of those puzzle piece things. So what it is like it's custom made. So it's got sort of like an avatar of me, and it's an avatar of her, and I'm picking her up, right? And then it says, and then you have to put it together like a puzzle. And so it says, you're my missing puzzle piece, right? And so that's what I got her. But she still loves those pink flamingo bumpers. We actually are going to get some more of them, but we can't get them yet because, quite honestly, we don't have room. So the rack that we have has plate storage, but it really doesn't have enough storage for all those bumper plates. So what I'm looking at is getting one of those rolling mobile bumper plate holders. But I don't need one that has bars. I just wanted to have bumper plate storage or plate storage, and I'm gonna put my bumpers on it, and then that way I can roll it around to wherever I need. And then when I'm not using it or she's not using it, we can just put it in the corner of our home gym, and that way it is not in the way. Um, let's see, we've got a also the other option I thought about was wall mounted bumper plate storage, but I decided not to go with that route because um, my walls are already kind of covered. And I actually need to take some of that stuff down because I need one wall that's bare because I do stuff like handstands, I do wall walks, like where you bend backwards, you do a back bridge and you walk your hands down to the ground. That's really good for your number one, it helps you with your bench press arch, but it's also really just good for your back, especially if you do a lot of deadlifting. Helps to kind of restore your lordotic curve. Haven't said that word in a long time. It's been many, many moons since I was a personal trainer slash strength coach back in the 20th century, kids. My first job out of college was at a public gym, and then I started doing programs for the police and fire recruits. So there you go, a little trip down memory lane. But anyway, so I need a bare wall. And so I'm probably gonna have to take some stuff down. So it looks like what we're gonna go with is that mobile bumper plate storage. Because the other thing too is we've got plate trees. So we've got plate storage on the rack we have now, and then we've got 2 plate trees, and our gym is starting to be cluttered, right? So I'm always having to move stuff around just to work out. So like for example, I got stuff on my deadlift platform right now. I got one of the plate trees and my open power, my open trap bar from Bells of Steel, my open trap bar is sitting on there. So when I deadlift, I have to move the open trap bar so I have room to actually deadlift on that platform, on my deadlift platform. So I don't like clutter at all. So I'm trying to get some of that junk going. Let's see. So Carlos says he's on that. Carp, I need you in the dance party video. All right. I'm not accepting no for an answer. I am not taking no for an answer. That's just not the way I'm built. So I need to get a dance party video from you. I will accept a workout video. So if you tag me, in your next workout video on Instagram, I'll put you in the home gym workout segments, which is called "What Are You Doing in Your House?" And that is what is coming up next. But first, I got to tell you about our other show sponsor, and that is G Code Nutrition. G Code Nutrition makes Vice, among other things, and this is the only pre-workout that I use. This stuff is great, man. It's the thing I like most about it is you can, number one, well, actually, there's 2 things I like about it. There's 3 things I like about it. Look at this. So number one, I like the fact that you can adjust the dosage depending on your body weight. So it makes no sense for somebody who weighs like 115 pounds to have the same dosage recommendation as someone who weighs 250 pounds. So you can adjust the dosage recommendation based upon your needs. Number 2, I like the fact that it does not cause me to crash. So I've got some of it in my shaker bottle right here. Got it in my ice shaker right now. And I am going to be sipping on it throughout this show, which is going to end around 9:30 this morning. And then I don't have to worry about crashing. I got stuff to do after the show's over, so I don't have to worry about crashing. And then the final thing I like is the flavoring is elite. So they were the first ones to do soda-inspired flavors, and I just absolutely love the way that this stuff tastes. They are available to retailers in the UK. So I know some of you guys are watching from England, and so you can definitely grab some G Code. You got to go on their website and look for the local retailers, but you can also just order, and make sure if you want to support the show, you want to shop at gcodenutrition.com and then use the code Best Gym in Town at checkout, and that will support this channel and help me out with buying products. Another cool way that you can support the channel is you can click the shopping button. So there is a shopping button that's on this video, and it's got a couple of products on there. So it's got one of the things I think we added today in the shopping button is this hoodie. It says I own the best gym in town. The hoodie that I'm wearing, and then you've got some other stuff. We've got leggings if you want to give your lady, if you're a woman or you want to give the woman in your life a gift. There's Garage Gym Life leggings. They are squat proof. All right, so she doesn't have to worry about anything crazy happening when she's squatting if she happens to visit a public gym for some reason. And then the best gym in town hoodie is available as a t-shirt. It's also available as a tank top for the ladies. So you can support the channel by clicking that shopping button. And it'll also show you some of the products that I use to make this video. So there's the Yeti mic that I'm using right now that's listed in there. All right. So I know you guys are fascinated by this sponsorship information. And unfortunately for you, I'm not going to talk about sponsors anymore. I'm moving on to the next thing. All right. So next segment is the home gym workout segment. And what you need to do is tag at Garage Gym Life on Instagram if you want to get your home gym workout featured. All right. So let's go ahead and let's kick this segment off. It is called What Are You Doing in Your House? So let's go ahead and let's kick that off right now. First person is, let's see here, is underscore, I believe it's Monica. So underscore Monica.sp. Yeah. So let's see this thing. So let's play that. All right. So Monica does street parking. She's always tagging me. She's a mom. And so a lot of times you'll see her kids in the videos in the background. But I want to give a shout out to her too, because she said she's having a little bit of a rough time, but she's still steadily, faithfully logging her workouts. And man, sometimes that's all you can do. You know, there are days when it's kind of rough. Like this past week, my daughter was sick, and she so generously gave my wife whatever she had. So they're both sick, and we still had all our responsibilities didn't just go away. So it's been a little bit rough, but all you can do is what you can do. So shout out to you, Monica. See, she's putting in the work there. She's doing, looks like a complex with some kettlebell swings and some lunges with the kettlebell overhead. That's pretty rough right there. All right. So next person, we're gonna go to Tomo119. This guy's in the UK as well, so let's add him to the stage. All right. So Thomas Lonsdale. So Tom is former British Army soldier. And I'm not sure why his hair is white. He must have dyed his hair again because his hair wasn't gray like 2 weeks ago. So either he had a stressful 2 weeks or he's got into his wife's hair dye. Now what I like about Tom's training is he does a mix of stuff. He's another person who does a lot of hybrid workouts. So first of all, you see him there. He's got the Bulgarian goat bag. Then he's doing some deadlifting, and then let's see, so some more deadlifting. And then I believe then he goes into pull-ups. Then from the pull-ups, he's going to go into something else, some bent over rows. So he's got a mix, and then now some kettlebell rows. So Tom's got a healthy mix of training, and that's because his chosen sport is literally ultra marathons. It's nothing to Tom to run 100 miles, and I'm not even joking. So he strength trains, lifts weights so that he can maintain his muscle mass. Because if you're running 100 miles, you're going to lose weight, and he doesn't want to be skinny and frail, right? So he lifts weights. He'll have like an off season where he lifts weights, kind of helps his body recover from the beating that it takes. Running 100 miles is definitely not easy. And so he gives his body a chance to kind of recover from that grueling level of output. And then his season will start, and then he'll do, I don't know how many races he does a year. I've actually never asked him that, but Tom does quite a bit of, like I said, he'll do a few races. He's actually got a video. If you go to his Instagram, it's at Tomo, Tommo, then the number 119. If you go on his Instagram, you'll see he's got a picture. It's kind of gross, but he's got a picture of one of his shoes where the blood was soaking through his shoe because he was running this long race and his foot started bleeding, and he didn't want to. I guess there's nothing really you can do, because if you're running 100 miles, you're in the middle of nowhere. So what's the point of stopping? So he just powered on through. So yeah, the British are pretty tough. But we're tougher. I mean, we whipped them twice, right? Let's not forget that. In fact, let me back up. We whipped them twice. We whipped them in the Revolutionary War. We whipped them in the War of 1812 when they came back to try again. All right. So the British are tough, but let's just, y'all got to relax. Ain't nobody scared of England. All right. Let's see here. So Carlos said, I hadn't done bent over rows in a while, but he did some Wednesday and he loved it. Yeah, I saw that you're getting back into your training pretty heavy, man. That's legit. Bent over rows I love them because there's so many ways to vary the exercise. You can do them. One of my favorite variations is you take an adjustable bench and you adjust the incline just enough so you can bend over and put your forehead on the back of the bench, right? So that gives you like a cue for where you need to stay. And then you keep your forehead in contact with the bench and then you do your rows there. Because sometimes when you do bent over rows, if you're going really heavy, your body tends to swing a little bit. And so, I mean, there's a place for that. I'm not from the form police. I think there's a place for that as well. But that other variation I just said, where you adjust the incline, the adjustable bench, so you can put your forehead on it, is legit. And then, of course, a lot of people are familiar with the other variation where you adjust the incline on the adjustable bench, so you lay down on it face down. So then your chest is on the part that your back is normally on, and then you do your rows there, and you just try to keep your chest in contact with it. That one, I would say, is harder. So if I'm going degree of difficulty, it's going to go easiest would be bent over row with a bar. Then you're going to go bend over row with your forehead on the bench, and then bend over row with you sitting on the bench. That's probably the hardest one in that particular progression. But then there's another one. I believe John Grimmick liked it. Mr. America, former Mr. America, John Grimmick. He's obviously former Mr. America. He passed. He was around in the 40s. But anyway, so John Grimmick liked to do a variation where let's say you're rowing with a dumbbell in your right hand, you cross your body and touch your left foot. So it's kind of like that exercise some of us did when we were in PE, in gym class, when we were in elementary school, where you stand up and then you go down and you touch your fingertips to the opposite toe. Same idea, but you're doing a dumbbell to the opposite foot. And that is legit. That is a crazy stretch. That one right there, I would say I can handle I can handle like 100-pound dumbbell for rows for reps. But with that variation, I normally do like 60 pounds. Just because the stretch is so crazy. And I like to focus on the quality of repetition in that. So we had, oh my God, here we go. So once again, this is Tattoo saying, this is Matt. I told you he's from England. And he always says this every time I remind him that we whipped him twice. All right, look, we whipped your country twice. First, we kicked you out of our country. Then you came back uninvited. Okay, we didn't tell you to come back here. You had the audacity to burn down our capital city, but you were smart. Y'all didn't touch the coming out of the Marine Corps house. You brave, but you ain't crazy. Okay, but we had to kick you out of our country twice, and you gonna come back to me? We had help. Let's just discuss that. All right, the country, we're getting off track here. All right, but I feel like I need to address it for the honor of my adopted country. All right, the country you're talking about helped us to beat you was France. And I cannot believe that you're saying that you felt like France was the deciding factor in whipping y'all. Just think about what you're saying, okay? Just think about that. I don't have time to discuss this with you any further. I'm going on to the next video. It's just getting out of control. So this one is my guy, No Way Jose Lifts, I believe. Let's go to him. Yeah, okay, so this is Jose Gonzalez. Jose, you guys can't really tell, but Jose has one of the most legit basement gyms out there, and it is basically the entire, almost the circumference of his house, right? So it's basically the same dimensions or floor space as the house. Right there, and in this video, he is deadlifting 260 kilograms. Let's see that again. So if you guys are listening now, I try to do this part early so that if you have to get in the car, you don't miss anything. But if you're listening now, you can catch this on a replay. So yeah, that's really good form. Jose also likes to use a velocity tracker. So if you're watching, you can see he's got it in the middle of the bar there. He likes to keep track of his bar speed. His coach has him do that. You guys can see he's got the, if you're watching, he's got the customized deadlift platform. His entire gym though, man, Jose's entire gym is legit. And he, in fact, I'll put the link to his YouTube channel in the description for this video because his YouTube channel, he's got an updated home gym tour. So I did a home gym tour with him, but then he moved. And so now he's got an updated home gym tour on his channel. So you guys can check that out. I'll be adding that in the description for this video within the next, at some point today. So you guys can check that out. All right, let's see here. France. Yeah, it's France. Really? France, you think France was the deciding factor? I can't even with you. I can't with you, right? All right, so let's go to the next video. This is my guy Rocco Strong. What's his Instagram name? At strong.fit.active. So let's see that again. He said he's been sick, so shout out to him. I like that. He's got a sauna in his gym. He's another basement gym guy and another person that's got a Garage Gym Life banner. Those of you watching can see it off in the corner. We're still selling those. We normally sell them in person. But if you really want one, just message me on Instagram and we'll work it out. I'll get you one. I'll be happy to sell you one. But anyway, so Rocco's doing some benching with a sandbag here. Rocco is a multi-sport athlete. So I noticed he got more into sandbag training when he got back into judo. And so that's when he started doing a little bit more sandbag work for resistance, because the sandbag is almost, I wouldn't say it's exactly like, but it's almost like having a human being, so you can feel like the different stress of wrestling with another person. So that is a legit way to train. But he also competes in Highland Games. Rocco competes in in powerlifting, and he competes in the sport of strongman. So judo, strongman, powerlifting, and Highland Games are the things he does. And then he does a little bit of hiking as well, I guess, after lunch. After lunch, he goes hiking. I don't know. But yeah, he's a good dude. And I love him. I think he's another good follow on Instagram. And let me say this too. Sometimes the people that I say, hey, go follow, they don't have large followings. I just see them because of what I do and how much I repost, which is one reason why I repost people's stuff, because you're not necessarily going to see, everybody's not into trying to promote themselves, but a lot of times they put out really good content. And so if you follow Rocco's content on Instagram, you'll see how he mixes his training, because I just named 4 tough training disciplines that he's involved in regularly. And so you'll be able to see how he manages being able to train for all those things without getting injured. So I told you he was feeling a little under the weather. Well, he's sick. All right. But I don't really recall any instances of Rocco being injured. And that is a big deal. In fact, that's one of the things that I look for when I'm looking at a coach. We'll talk about this a little bit later. But I look at how healthy his athletes are, not just how many events they win. I want to know that too. But I also look at how healthy they are. So are his athletes always injured? Is the coach always injured? Why do I want to learn from somebody who's always hurt? I can get hurt by myself, right? I don't need you to help me get hurt myself. I don't need that. Let's see here. Oh my God. Tattoo saying, and Spain. Yeah, Spain. That juggernaut. Beware the Spanish. Sure, man. All right. I'll say it to you like this. Here's the deciding factor. All right. When you needed our help because Germany was picking on you, we came in there and we sorted it out. Right. Y'all left every war that you're in drags out until we say, all right, man, we'll come help you. We come help you, and we knock it out within a year or two. Y'all let stuff drag on for too long. I mean, so there you go. We helped you whip Germany twice. All right. And to be honest with you, we didn't, the second time we whipped Germany, we helped you whip Germany, we didn't even send the Marine Corps. We're like, look, we beat these guys before because we sent the Marine Corps to help you the first time. We said, all right, you don't need a lot of Marines. We'll just send a few of them, right? That's how we got the nickname Devil Dogs, Bellowwood. All right. We helped y'all beat Germany. All right. Well, after we figured out what was going on with Germany, the next time we had to fight them in the 1940s, we say, we don't need the Marines over there. We can fight two different wars. You know how they always say, never fight a war on two fronts? Well, we didn't get the memo because we whipped Japan and we whipped Germany and we helped y'all whip Germany. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Okay, so we whipped y'all twice and we whipped Germany twice and we whipped Japan when we had spare time. So just calm down, all right? USA. Anyway, whatever. We're getting off track. Let's go to our next guy here. This one is very interesting, all right? You guys, if you're watching, pay close attention to what you're about to see here because this is crazy. I saw this and I was like, oh, I immediately felt, I felt very weak, all right? Watch this. So this is at Timeh_59, and he is not just hub lifting a 45-pound plate. It looks like a Marcy 45. I mean, I can hub lift a 45-pound plate, but this dude is tossing it to himself. He is playing catch, and he's catching it by the middle part. All right. And let's see, he does something else with it. We'll probably have to restart the video for you guys to see that part, but this is crazy. Can you imagine, like he's switching hands, casually grabbing a 45-pound plate by the middle part, by the center part, the hub. That's insane. Okay, yeah, so he's going to take us there so we can see it. That is insane. All right, so now let's play that again. Look at this. Behind the back, holding it by the hub and goes behind the back. That is crazy. The level of finger strength that takes. I think he might be a climber because he's not a big dude. But a lot of times climbers tend to have very, very strong fingers. They tend to do very well in grip sports. But this is still insane, man. This dude, I mean, he's curling. He's just disrespecting this 45-pound plate. And if you aren't able to see this, you're at work or whatever, and you're not able to see this, come back to the replay. I'll put timestamps in the video when it's available for replay, so you guys can see this because you can go straight to this part. But this is insane. This dude is disrespecting a 45-pound plate, 20-kilogram plate, whatever you want to call it, by not just lifting it, but casually juggling the 45-pound plate. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So much respect to him, and I appreciate him allowing me to share that here in this home gym workout segment. We've got one more workout segment, and we're going to go to that now. This is, I believe, I got one more, right? Yeah. This is, I believe, from my guy, Mickey Satterwhite, who is at Junkyard Strength Training. No, at Junkyard Gym Strength Training on Instagram. Mickey is at Junkyard Gym Strength Training on Instagram. Let's check it out. All right, there you go, my guy Mickey. So doing some deadlifts with the chains added on as extra load. That's a really cool way to challenge yourself. So the chains, most of the way the chains is supported by the ground, and then the higher up you go, the more of the weight of the chains you're holding. So it's a really good method for helping you with your lockout. Another method that I really like for helping you with your lockout is you take a band. So just picture this in your mind. You take a resistance band, and you don't need band pegs for this. All you need is you need a barbell, some plates, and you want to go light on the bar. Okay, don't. This is not the day to try to put your PR weight on there. So go light on the bar. then you want to take a band and you hook the band over the sleeves, right? So you hook one end of the band over one sleeve, and then you run it across underneath the barbell and hook it on the other sleeve, right? Then you're going to step on the band and grab the bar. So when you deadlift, the barbell is going to pull the band tight, right? So that band tension is going to increase the higher up you go. And that is one of the best methods I've seen for helping someone with their lockout. Whether you train sumo or conventional, and to be honest with you, you should train both. So you obviously you have one way that you're better at lifting at, and you do that way, and then you need to train the other way. So if you're stronger sumo like I am, you still should train conventional as an accessory, right? So your first lift after sumo should be some variation of a conventional deadlift. Just okay. And then you can use the bands for that. So I don't use the band thing I just told you. I don't do that sumo. Instead, I actually do it conventional. And so that's a good way to do it. So that would be a conventional deadlift variation that I would do. I also consider RDLs a conventional deadlift variation. But the important point is don't just train one way, one style deadlifting. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, that grip is crazy. I mean, let me show y'all again, man. This I can't stop looking at it. I've looked at it so many times, both when I was putting this together and then also just watching it on Instagram. I was like, oh my goodness, this is insane. Because first, my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. I was like, what is this? What am I looking at here? And then I was looking closer. I said, oh my God, this is crazy. So let's look at it one more time. So this is the middle of the video where he's just casually just tossing it to himself. Now, Joel Dirks does stuff like this, but Joel Dirks is huge. I believe he competes in strongman as well as grip. I've seen Joel Dirks next to Brian Shaw, and he's smaller than Brian Shaw, but so is everybody else, except I guess Hafthor Bjornsson. But Joel Dirks didn't look small next to Brian Shaw. So that gives you an idea how big he is. This dude, Timme underscore 59, is not a big dude. He may be tall because I've never seen him in person, but this is ridiculous. This is crazy strength. All right. This is that, I don't even know what to say. Like, he's the human adjustable wrench. All right. Like, hey man, come get this bolt off for me. Hey, hey, open this jar for me. This dude that is legit strength, man. Much respect to him. And so Carlos, CBS True Consumer Review, say the palm of his hand is aching just watching it. Here's the thing, man. That's not even his palm. It's his fingertips that's really being stressed, because you have to, when you're doing grip stuff like that, you have to compress. So the reason why it's hard to pick up a 45, any kind of plate by the hub, is because your pinky doesn't want to clamp down. So you have to squeeze with all of your fingers. And so if you've got, you might have a strong thumb, but maybe your pinky is weak. So until you get your pinky strong enough and you get used to applying finger pressure with all your fingers, no matter how you pick it up, whether you use that little sideways doorknob grip he's using, or you use just a straight down grip like I use, that's still going to stress your fingers. And you end up, I don't get like cramps, but your fingers kind of like, you can feel that you've worked them. And you can actually overwork your fingers. If you do too much of the same kind of grip work in a week, you can actually damage the ligaments and tendons in your hand doing too much grip work. People who are also in danger are people who do it, like if you do any kind of manual labor job where you run maybe a jig or something like that, or a grinder. Definitely, if you run a grinder, that's going to be something that's going to challenge your grip. You start getting elbow issues and stuff like that, because the tendons that connect your elbow to your hand, especially your bicep tendon, they now I'm just talking about it makes my elbow itch, not itch but ache. But the tendons in your hand and the tendons that run up and down your forearms, they start to get really inflamed. and so you can have issues if you do too much of the same kind of grip training. So it's good to vary it, and then you have to have some recovery methods as well. But that's kind of beyond the scope of it. All right, so let's see. So that was our segment. That's what are you doing in your house? And once again, you want to tag at Garage Gym Life on Instagram in order to have your home gym workout video featured. Now, I got an assignment for you guys. All right, so my next guest is going to be Will Whitman from HomeGrown Lifting. So here's what I want you guys to do. Will, I don't know if you guys are familiar with HomeGrown Lifting, but here's what we're going to do. I want to know if you have any questions for Will. So let's. Matt, you're nuts. Matt says that Tim, the guy, the grip dude that we just showed, we're just talking about. Matt said in the chat, he said he could open safes without knowing the combination. You ain't lying. He's the kind of dude that will peel your can open for you. Okay, just think about that. He'll peel your can open for you. So if you guys are familiar with HomeGrown Lifting, go ahead and drop some comments in the chat to let me know. Put your questions in the chat. There you go, English. So put your questions for Will in the chat. I've got a list of questions I'm going to be asking him, but go ahead and drop any questions you have for Will in the chat. He will be at HomeGymCon. In fact, let's see here. I think this was their booth at HomeGymCon last year. Let me see if I can pull this thing up here. I didn't actually plan on doing this, but oh well. There you go. So this was their booth at HomeGymCon last year. And that's also a preview of HomeGymCon. What you see the swing sesh. You see the swing sesh booth. That looks like it was before the morning workout session, or it may have been during the morning workout session. People were on the other side. I'll play that for you guys again. You guys want to hear it again? There you go. There you go. So you guys see that they've got adjustable dumbbells. They've got bumper plates. Actually, they've got dumbbell handles. Then they've got bumper plates. That's the thing that they're really known for is their bumper plates. They're also known for their they've got some other products there. They've got a home gym builder. A lot of companies are starting to have that as well. That's basically you go on their website and you kind of like show them, you kind of like do a diagram of your room and you start saying, hey, I want this thing or that thing or whatever. And you can put your home gym package together. Their stuff tends to lean a little bit towards weightlifting and CrossFit. It's not quite so much powerlifting. It's more weightlifting and CrossFit. They got you can use the bars for powerlifting if you want it, but they're more all around like CrossFit bars, the diameter of their bar. I want to say it's a 28 millimeter bar. Let me look at it. Let me not make up stuff here. So yeah, they got a Olympic bar, 700-pound capacity. Oh no, I was wrong. So it's a 30 millimeter shaft diameter. Their bar is 700-pound capacity, rated capacity with a 30 millimeter shaft diameter. This is their men's bar, and then they've got that's what it is. Then they've got a women's bar, and the women's bar is a 35-pound bar, and it's got a 28 millimeter diameter. That's where I knew I wasn't making up that 28 millimeter diameter thing. They've got bushings so that you have a good spin. So if you're doing any kind of deadlifting or any kind of cleans or anything like that, it's going to let you spin freely. You always want to check the spin on your sleeve. That's really important if you're doing kind of like the Olympic lifts. It's not really as big a deal if you're powerlifting, but for the Olympic lifts, you definitely want to have your sleeve spin as freely as possible. And so bushings are important. Actually, if you are watching, not just listening, and you guys want to kind of see their website, here. I'll share my screen. Let me share my screen real fast. And so let's go here. Right there. Boom. Share. Okay, so there you go. So this is their website right here. T-shirt, in case you happen to not have a shirt right now. But this is pretty much the stuff that they have. This is that home gym. Then they've got the home gym builder, as I said. You go in, you kind of put together all the stuff they want. They've got an independent squat rack. They've also got a wall-mounted foldable rack, and they've got one of those wall-mount storage bumper plate racks. I've actually seen one of those in person. My guy Justin actually did his home gym tour with us, and he, yeah, and in his home gym tour, he was showing me that he got all his bumpers from HomeGrown Lifting, and he had and he got his bumper plate storage from them as well as some collars. So if you guys want to ask Will any questions about his company, the stuff is all made here in Kentucky. So if you guys want to ask him any questions about his company, you can put those in the chat right now. If you are watching this on replay, you can put so after 9:30, put your questions in the comment section, and I will make sure that Will sees the questions and comes back, and I'll have him like circle the block to answer your questions in the comments. Okay. We'll also put his contact information, the HomeGrown Lifting contact information, will be going across the screen, kind of like my little ticker right there. So let's see. In fact, let me find it right here. I know I got it right here. Boom, there you go. So yeah, you guys want to visit homegrownlifting.com, and you guys can check out all of the stuff that they have on their website. But they've got a lot of stuff. It's very reasonably priced, and a lot of people, are pretty happy with it. They're one of those companies that started during the pandemic, but I'm really impressed by the fact that they're still around, because a lot of those pandemic companies that started ended up closing. So they opened up. They said, okay, there's a shortage. Nobody can find equipment, so I'm going to start a company and get stuff in people's hands. And then you could always tell the companies that really cared, because as soon as lockdown was over, they started to sell their inventory off. Literally, if you go on, I can't believe I'm about to tell you how to do this, but if you go on Alibaba, that is a website, go on Alibaba, you'll be amazed at the number of products from companies you wouldn't expect that are on there, where they had too much inventory. Because think about the fact that these companies are coming out with inventory all the time, right? There's no way for them to sell everything. So they have their Black Friday sale, and that Black Friday sale is also known as, we got to get our inventory down. But we don't want to sell all of it because we want to still have stuff for Christmas. And then they have an after Christmas sale that's also known as, we didn't sell everything that we planned on selling this year, so now we got to get rid of the stuff because we're going to have new inventory coming in the new year. So those are some of the best times to save. You can obviously shop at Black Friday, but also highly underrated is the after Christmas sale. And then right around January, you'll get some sales as well, because like I said, these companies have this inventory. They have to get rid of it because there's only so much you can hold in a warehouse before it gets full. So they have to get the stuff out. And then also think about the fact that a lot of companies use fulfillment companies. What that means is you pay an independent distribution company, you pay them to store your product, right? So it sits on a pallet. And then when somebody places an order, AI basically sends the order to the fulfillment company, and it says, hey, go pick up this adjustable bench off of rack number 185 and ship it to this address, right? Well, the fulfillment company works for multiple companies normally, and that's how they're able to keep prices low enough for the business. So if you start to have too much stuff on the backlog at the fulfillment company, they'll contact you, be like, hey, what are you gonna do with all this stuff? Because it's not moving, right? And you're paying to have that stuff stored, whether it sells or not. So you'll see sales after Christmas. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you'll see sales after Christmas and in January as companies are starting to offload their inventory. And when they can't sell everything, sometimes that stuff ends up on Alibaba. Okay, now you know what Alibaba is. because they figure we're in America. Alibaba tends to cater to people in other countries. They're like, hey, nobody from America is going to come check Alibaba. Yeah, well, not all of y'all are. All right. So anyway, right after lockdown started ended, you started seeing a bunch of stuff hitting Alibaba from a lot of these companies that started up suddenly. Remember, we started seeing these companies we had never heard of just popping up out of nowhere on Amazon. You're like, who is this? Who is this? And they all talked about they all had like the home gym package, and it's like the power racks that were too short with 14, 16 gauge steel, because they were really just trying. First of all, there was a steel shortage during lockdown. Remember, before lockdown, before the pandemic hit, there had been a tariff thing where former President Donald Trump had a tariff war with China, and so steel prices went up, right? So there was already that issue, and then the pandemic hit, and so there was a shortage of steel. So you started seeing all these companies with 16 gauge flimsy steel racks coming out. And people obviously, once people started wising up, they're like, I'm not buying that garbage, risking my life using it. So a lot of that stuff ended up on Alibaba as well. Well, so when I see a company like HomeGrown Lifting that started during the pandemic, but it's still around, it's still going strong, and it's still getting good reviews, I want to talk to them. Because think about it, they went to HomeGymCon. So if you've never been to HomeGymCon, you got to think like it's not like other fitness expos, right? It's not even like other fitness equipment expos. So when it comes to fitness equipment, you've got a number of expos that most people don't know about. So there's URSA. Let me see what URSA stands for. It's the International Health Racket and Sports Club Association. That doesn't sound like anything, right? But they actually have a expo. So if you go to their convention and trade show, in fact, so one of the brands that's going to be there that I happen to know about is Bells of Steel. Bells of Steel is going to URSA, right? And at this convention, they have speakers and all that, but you tend to have a lot of companies there that are connected to public gyms. All right. Then there's another one. Let's see. I think it's Fitness Expo. It's like the gym gym owner or something like that expo. Let's see here. It's a trade show. See what this thing is called. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it. Anyway, it's for people who own public gyms. So let's say you own so like Lifetime Fitness would be there. Gold's Gym would be there. Planet Fitness probably is there, right? So it's places like that, and gyms like that, right? Well, if you guys check out the Prime Fitness AMA that was on Our Home Gym, and then Joe Gray had a warm up with him, right, on his YouTube channel. You guys need to check that out. So in that interview, they mentioned that Prime Fitness started out selling to public gyms. Well, public gym owners are not as picky as home gym owners. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew that, but public gym owners are not anywhere as picky as home gym owners. They are quite I don't know, like they're like, okay, does it look good? What's the length of the lease term? How much is it gonna cost me? Do you have a bunch of the stuff that's really popular right now? They're asking questions like that. Whereas home gym owners, we want to know, hey, well, okay, does that come in clear coat? Does that have what's the UHMW? Even though technically it's not UHMW, but what's the UHMW like? Do you have the option to customize it? Like there's all kinds of things we ask about. What's the gauge steel? We want to know about the bolts. Hey, we're sitting there looking at the weld. Hey, this weld right here looks a little suspect, right? Because we're the gym owner, but we only have to focus on us. And so for any company to go to HomeGymCon, they have to be prepared to get asked hard questions by people who know what they're talking about, and that's home gym owners. So Homegrown Lifting was at HomeGymCon last year, and they're going back again, and that's why we're going to be having them. That's just one reason that I'm having Will in here. We're going to talk about that. So let's see here. Let's see, what time is it? It's almost 7 a.m. Okay. So Will should be joining us in a few minutes, and we'll be getting his take on everything that they're going to be doing at HomeGymCon. I want to know what their booth is going to look like. I want to know, maybe we can get a sneak peek at some of the stuff they're going to be taking to HomeGymCon. I want to know. Looks like we got a comment in the chat. I don't see any comments from Facebook. All right, I need comments from Facebook. Y'all need to jump in here too. So Matt said he broke the lever on his belt last night training. So you got to order a new. You have to order a whole new belt, or can you order just the what's the name of that? You guys help me out. What's the name of that company? They make a thing to adjust your lever belt. Or they make a thing. It's I forgot what it's called. Anyway, can you order just the part that you need, or do you need to buy a whole new lever belt? There, Matt. Just go ahead and put that in the comments. I'm curious. Yeah. So I was talking about homegrown. Yeah. So anyway, so I think that for me, I want to know about homegrown lifting, and I kind of want to know, like what they see is like, not just what they're bringing to HomeGymCon, but also like what's on the horizon for them as far as new products they may be releasing in 2024 or anything like that. So those will be questions that I'm gonna be asking him whenever he joins the show in a few minutes. But let's see here now. Before we let him in here, I am going to say what's up and hi to those late risers in Central Time Zone. Although we've already had a couple of you from Central, you know what? I'm not gonna knock y'all because Charlie is in Central Time Zone and he's here. Carlos, he's here. He's in Central Time Zone. He's actually may have headed to work already. Carbs Jim is in Central Time Zone. So you guys have represented the Central Time Zone well. I appreciate y'all being here. But let's go ahead and let's say good morning to everyone else in the Central Time Zone who is just now waking up. All right. So shout out to the Central Time Zone. Thank you for joining us here on the Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. We're glad that you guys joined us. We're happy to see you. Let's see here. We've got a very packed show here today. Like I said, I am going to be joined by Will Whitman at 7:30 from HomeGrown Lifting, and he's going to be previewing the HomeGrown Lifting booth at HomeGymCon, as well as talking about his products. We also are going to be joined at 8:05 by Ashton from Freedom Strength Co. He's going to be giving an update on a little power rack project that I assigned him. And then he's also going to be talking about what he's going to be doing at HomeGymCon. Because Ashton was at HomeGymCon, and to be completely honest with you, I didn't know who he was. Like he looked familiar, but I was at HomeGymCon, so everybody looked familiar, right? So I was like, Then after that, then at 9, we're gonna shout out the West Coast, and we're also gonna do a special message to someone. We got a birthday message I got to give out, and then at 9:05, we're gonna do my breakdown of what it costs to attend HomeGymCon. That actually, I could probably move that up. I could probably move that up and do that right now. Really, see, do I have time to do that? Yeah, because then that'll give me more time to do the code. All right, I'll let you guys, because you're here right now, I'll let you vote. Do you want to hear from me break down how much it costs to attend HomeGymCon? Or do you want me to go over my criteria for selecting a coach? All right, I've only got like 25 minutes, so I can't do both topics. All right, so if you are still in the chat, tell me right now, put a 1 if you want me to talk about HomeGymCon and what it costs to attend it, and put a 2 if you want me to tell you what my criteria is for selecting a coach. All right, so go ahead, put that in the chat if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Instagram. If you're watching on Twitter, you will need to come to YouTube in order to put your comments. I'm not ignoring your comments, but the StreamYard software doesn't let me see comments from Twitter. So you guys have to actually come to YouTube. Let me, or actually, I may be able to just go to, let me see. I might be able to just go to Twitter and see y'all. Do I have any comments right here? Okay. That may or may not work. I just don't want to have any feedback. Because sometimes you go on a different website, you get an echo. All right, so let's see. So first, so we got to vote for one. So Carlos wants to hear about how much it costs to attend HomeGymCon. All right, Matt, what is your? I know you're in the UK, so you may not care about HomeGymCon. Would you rather hear about how much it costs to attend HomeGymCon, or would you rather hear about my criteria for selecting a coach? All right. So if I don't hear any other votes, then Carlos wins, and I'll talk about how much it costs to attend HomeGymCon. All right. Going once, going twice. All right, boom, too late. We're going to talk about what it costs to attend HomeGymCon. All right. Let's take a sip of the potion real fast. All right, so first of all, HomeGymCon is an expo, and it is in French Lick. And most people don't know what French Lick is. If they have heard of French Lick, it's only because they're roughly my age and they know that the great Larry Bird is from French Lick. Okay? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, French Lick doesn't have anything there. So, as a result, the resort where HomeGymCon is held has all kinds of stuff. They've got a spa. They've got, if you're into golf, they've got one of the world's largest and nicest golf courses. They've got shops. They've got a bowling alley. Last year when we were there, my daughter and I went downstairs to the bowling alley because my wife was upstairs getting some work done. So I took she was 7 at the time. So I took my little girl downstairs, and we were in the arcade. We ordered a pizza, and then we're in the arcade playing video games. We played Space Invaders, and that was one of my favorite all-time memories of as a dad. Getting to introduce, because I've introduced all my kids to video games, right? But she was the first one who I introduced to arcade games. Because where you normally see arcade games, right? So anyway, so it was really cool. But when people are talking about attending, one of the things that they talk about is the cost, because French Lick is in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like the easiest. There's not like an airport there to get to. You have to fly into either Louisville or Indianapolis to get there. And people have told me that it cost them like $2,500. I've heard more than that. I've actually heard even more than that, higher numbers than that. I was like, I don't understand how you guys are spending this much. Now, I understand if you're flying from somewhere like California, but still, man. So let's just go through my cost breakdown for HomeGymCon. All right. So pull this up here. All right. So I'm going to put this over here. All right. So a little bit of background, and then I'll share my screen. Actually, I'll just go ahead and share the screen now. So we're talking about this. All right. So hope you can see that. If you can't see it, then you're in the same boat as the people who are just listening. But I'll just describe it. Actually, hold up. I can probably just zoom this in for you. Look at that. Look at me all technological. All right. So I got my ticket. Number one, there is a definite benefit for ordering early. So I got my full event and access ticket. So that's tickets for the full event Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Friday and Saturday. We get there Thursday. So it's for the full event and early access. plus dinners. So when I say early access, that means before the actual event opens up, you can go in early, I think 2 hours early, and you can do a workout with all of the equipment from all of the vendors that are there. All the vendors make their equipment available, and they're there too. So they'll be standing right there, and you can go in. So like last year, I worked out. I think I was working like chest. Uh, so I did my chest workout with the Bells of. I did my chest workout on the Hydra from Bells of Steel, and then I did. I followed that up with. Let's see, with some dumbbell work. I went over to the Rep AB 5200 2.0 and grabbed some of their dumbbells, and I did my accessory work there. And then I was able. Then I said, okay, now it's time to play around. So then I tried out the Rep Open Trap Bar and the and the Rep Safety Squat Bar. Right? Yes, you heard that right. I tried them both out at the same time. So I loaded weight on the safety squat bar in the rack, and I walked out with it. And a well-made safety squat bar, you don't have to have your hands on the handles. So I stepped into the trap bar that I had already loaded. I stepped into it, reached down with the safety squat bar still on my shoulders, and I grabbed the trap bar handles and I did some deadlifts with it, right? That's actually called an ox lift. It's not a lift I made up. But you should have seen Adam from Rep Fitness saw me doing it, and his face was like, he was looking for the fire marshal, the insurance company. He didn't know who to call, but it was a good time. But anyway, you guys heard, if you were watching last week, you heard me say that I watched Ashley coach somebody to a PR. Well, that was during the open workout time at HomeGymCon, right? So you get to actually, in addition to walking around and just kind of touching the equipment and talking to the people, you actually have an early access time where you can go in and you can just play with everything. So, but that's not automatic. You have to pay for it. All right. So my full event and early access ticket with access to the dinner that happens with the vendors Friday night. That's right. You get to eat dinner with the vendors. So you get to sit down at the table and just say, hey, this is what I think about your product. It sucks or it's great, whatever. And so that's $209.99. That's the most expensive ticket they have. Okay. Then I got a hotel room because I'm arriving Thursday, and I'll be there Thursday night and Friday night, and I'm checking out Saturday. So my hotel room for Thursday is $159. My hotel room for Friday is $219 because that's obviously the weekend rate, right? And then if you add tax into it, my total hotel cost is $427.14. So Matt, I don't know if you can see, because I know what your situation is. I don't know if you're at lunch right now or not, but basically, my total cost is $987.13. So $987.13. All right. So that's my total hotel cost, including sales tax, my full event and early access cost with the dinner included, $209.99. And then I live a little over 100. I live a little over 400 miles from the hotel. I think it was like 455 miles. That number's kind of stuck in my head. And my car gets 424 miles per fill up. So I estimated 3 fill-ups, and I estimated about $50 per fill up. I mean, now that's going to fluctuate because obviously I'm filling up here, and I know what the gas costs down here, but I don't know what gas is going to cost when I get to, Indiana, just for example. But I gave myself an estimate of $50 per tank. All right. So that's $150. And then I estimated that my meal cost, not counting the dinner that I'm going to have at HomeGymCon, but I'm talking about food on the road to and from there. I gave myself an allowance of $200. I probably am not going to eat $200 worth of food. Okay. Because I'm just not, probably not. But that's the estimate, right? So I may end up getting up to $1,000, but this is my current estimate. And I think we spent more than that last year because it was me, my wife, and our little girl, so that's anything we bought was buy three, right? So it's I wasn't buying just one meal. I was buying three meals if we stopped to get something to eat, just for example. I don't know. I'm not counting, obviously, if you're going to have a lot of the vendors give you the ability to purchase equipment there. And for you, Matt, if you were to attend, you would probably want to take advantage of the fact that you can order the stuff and then they will ship it to you, right? So, but you'll get a discount for ordering in person. But anyway, that's not in this list because nobody's forcing you to buy anything. All right. Nobody's forcing you to buy anything. So all I put down was the stuff that you have to pay for if you're going to attend HomeGymCon. Also, you don't have to get the ticket with the full event and early access, including the dinners. You might say, hey, I just want to go for one day. You may say, I want to go for just I just want to go for, I don't want to go to the dinners, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe you want to go, but you don't care about the early access for the workout. All right. There are other ticket prices. So that number of $209.99, that's the highest price, but you can pay less. It's completely okay. And then they have competitions too. So, that cost would be additional if you were competing in something. But I think, though, if you're competing, that your cost to attend may be prorated. I'm not sure about that. Okay, I'd have to ask Jake that. But anyway, so $987.13 total, and let's see here. So let me stop sharing for a second. Remove, and then now you got me curious, Matt. What's the UK exchange rate? I wonder. You guys are back on the British pound, right? I think. To British pounds. Okay, so it says 783 and 87 pounds sterling. Do you guys say cents or do you say pence? 783.87. So we would say $783.87. But for you guys, it's pounds sterling. So is it 783 pounds and 87 pence? Yeah. That's just a random question that really has no bearing on anything. All right. So anyway, that's my cost breakdown for HomeGymCon. And I'm telling you, man, one of the things, and this is why I'm so passionate about it. So the thing about HomeGymCon is when I first heard about it, I guess maybe 2 years ago. Now, yeah, it may be 2 years ago by now, but maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But anyway, when I first found out that Jake from Garage and Experiment was creating HomeGymCon, I reached out and said, man, this is the best idea I've ever heard of in terms of the home gym community. Because as many of you know, I've had a home gym since 2001. And when I started my home gym, the Arnold didn't exist. Well, hold on, baby. Let me see something here. I don't want to lie. When did the Arnold Sports Festival start? Let's see here. Okay, that was a lie. I just told you. So the Arnold Classic started in 1989. Okay, but I want to know when the actual festival started. Like when. So it started as a competition, and it became the sports festival. But when did the sports festival start? I don't know, because the expo didn't start at the same time as the bodybuilding show. Because I never went when it was just a bodybuilding show, and I didn't start going until I would start going in 2013, and by that time the expo was already around. So anyway, whatever. But to put it in perspective, but getting back to it, there wasn't anything that you could go to if you weren't competing in it. There wasn't anything for home gym owners, especially to attend, where you could be around other home gym owners. So it was a little frustrating. Like if I go anywhere, I'm always the only home gym owner. And I know a lot of people who've had home gyms for a long time have similar stories. You go somewhere, You go to a powerlifting meet, you're the only competitor, as far as you know, that trains in the home gym. Everybody's trying to get you to join that gym. Um, I went to the Arnold, and I had some community because I was a member of the Arnold, the Animal Barbell Club. And if you guys are watching, you can see this banner right here is from the last 3 times I went up to the Arnold. There's a thing called Animal Barbell Club through Universal Nutrition, which is how I met my guy, Greg Santacero, the guy who founded G Code Nutrition. Got their BCAAs and their pre-workout going through my veins right now. In fact, let's take a sip of the potion. Another sip of the potion. Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, but that's how I met him. And so community for me was being on these online forums. But there wasn't anywhere to go where you could like be around other home gym owners unless you meet somebody on one of the forums and they happen to mention that they have a home gym, and then you two happen to be at something like the Arnold. So I've been at the Arnold. I saw his name is Jonathan. His Instagram handle is at Family and Muscle. I ran into him at the Arnold. Ryan DePompeo and his wife Julia at Working Class Beast, and at Julia DePompeo. J Champ IFBB Pro. That's Julia's Instagram. I met them in person at the Arnold for the first time, but there really wasn't anything for us. Okay, and then you get somebody who's a part of our community, right? Who's legitimately a part of our community, who's been a part of our community. Not knocking anybody that joined the home gym community in COVID. I'm just saying, like, you guys know there's a difference between people who had home gyms before COVID lockdown and people who started their home gyms after COVID lockdown. Because all of us who had home gyms before COVID lockdown, we remember people telling us that we should sell all that stuff and join a gym because there's no point in having all that equipment, that it was just going to go to waste. You couldn't possibly train hard enough at home by yourself. Okay, well, then they saw the truth when lockdown hit, and all of a sudden, then they're scrambling, coming to us for advice, right? So we welcome them to the community, but I'm just saying there's a difference. And so Jake has had a home gym for longer than that, for a long enough period of time to really be an embedded part of our community. He's done a lot for the home gym community. So when he said he was creating an expo, I trusted him. And I said, man, this is a good idea. And I got behind it immediately. I started telling other people because I wanted to grow. Things like this, things like HomeGymCon don't grow if we don't support it. And who else is going to care about it if it's not us? Right? Literally, who else is going to care about HomeGymCon if home gym owners don't care about it? We're going to mess around, and if we don't support it, it'll go away, and we'll be filled with regret because a thing that could have been great, that could have been for us, is now gone, and we'll sit around and complain about the fact that there's nothing for us. I've been through that. HomeGymCon just started last year. So for over 20 years, I've been in that space of not having any way to get together with other like-minded people. And everyone who went to HomeGymCon last year, the number one thing we all talked about was how, even though most of us are introverted to a certain extent, it was still great, awesome, wonderful. I can't even give you enough adjectives for it. To be in a room full of people who get you, a room full of people who are interested in what you're interested in. And the number one, but I just told you, we tend to be introverted, right? So we don't like to travel. It's hard to get me, I promise you. I bought a thing from Best Buy, right? So I messed up the cable, the USB cable that connects my mic to my computer. And all I need to do is go to Best Buy and get a replacement. Do you know I messed that thing up in December, and I've been dragging my feet about going to Best Buy because I didn't want to leave the house. It just occurred, and then yesterday I was like, hey, I could probably just order it from Amazon. But by that time I was already at Best Buy because I needed to get something else. But whatever. The point is, we don't like leaving the house. So I get it. And so every one of us says they want, oh, well, why is it in French Lick? That's too far. Well, America's a big country. It's in the center of the country, so it's far for everybody. And what everybody says is, well, I wish it was somewhere, and then they'll name somewhere that's closer to them. Well, if you live in California and it's closer to you, guess what? Now it's far from everybody else. If you live in Boston and they move it closer to you, well, now it's further away for the people in California. And I guess the heck with the Alaskans. That's what they get for living on the other side of Canada, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? It's rough. And that's another thing. There were people there from Alaska at HomeGymCon last year. If you don't know how far away Alaska is from everything else in America, you need to just Google one time. And I ain't trying to hear from anybody else about how far away HomeGymCon is from you. All right? HomeGymCon is a great thing. And I wouldn't say, I'm not going to go quite so far as to say it breaks my heart, but I will say that it's irritating when people immediately dismiss it and say it's not it's too expensive. And they kind of, to me, it's like the lazy person's way out, So I ain't trying to hear from anybody else about how it costs $2,500 to go to HomeGymCon when I just showed you the breakdown of what it cost me, and I took advantage of everything. And I'm driving there, and it's $987.13 for me, and I live over 400 miles away from the place, one way. So there's that. So that was a rant, but that's what y'all asked for. You said you wanted me to talk about that, so I got to give the people what they want. So I did. So that was my rant for HomeGymCon. So let's go, and I'm jumping in the live chat one more time, and then I'm going to bring our guest on, because Will Whitman, see, he just joined in. I don't want to waste his time here. So Matt says he's looking forward to be a home gym rep at the Arnold's in the UK. I'm going to show him what us shed goblins can do. Hey man, go in there and represent, dude. That's what I used to say whenever I went to the Arnold. I'm like, or any competition really. The fact of the matter is you're going to know. You don't tell me what I can't do. Just watch me do it. Okay. But yeah, it's good to leave the cave, man, and whatever your thing is for leaving the cave. But let's go ahead. I'm going to add Will right on here now. Bringing him on now. Morning. Will Whitman, what's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, John. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Look, you're not awake enough. What's going on here? Do I need to wake you up?
Yeah, just about now. My two girls just did that about 30 minutes ago. So, yeah.
Watch this. I'll wake you up. Watch this.
Yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been locked down. Get yourself. Oh, yo, get yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been locked down. Get yourself. Oh, yo, get yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been knocked down. Get yourself. Oh, you've been locked down. Get yourself.
I'm ready to go now.
All right, there we go. All right. I knew that would fix it.
Oh,
all right. So, Will, you are one of the co-founders of HomeGrown Lifting, and I appreciate you being here with us. I know you had to peel yourself away from the warehouse and keep an eye on the workers. What you don't know is I sent an email to the company email, and I told them, hey, you guys got 30 minutes to screw up, so I'll delay him as long as I can.
There you go.
Right? Just seeing your face, you're like, wait, what?
I'll get a knock on the door here in about 10 minutes. Hey, a press broker, so I'm sure something's going to happen.
All right. So let's just jump right into it. All right. So your bumpers, you're going to be on HomeGymCon, and we were talking about your bumpers earlier. So your bumpers have been voted among the 13 best bumper plates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to butcher his name probably, but Alexei Torokidis. He's an Olympian with like 21 plus years of weightlifting experience. So you guys, if you're hearing that, Olympian, yes, competed at the Olympics and he's got 20 plus years of weightlifting experience. So first question is, how cool is it as a new company to get an endorsement of that sort from an athlete of that caliber?
I can't even tell you. It feels awesome to have somebody of that caliber and that with that type of platform say something like that about you. We worked really, really hard in the first couple of years that we were working on these plates. There was a lot involved with the R&D and the design and the material sourcing, and to have somebody of that stature come in and say, hey, not only are these plates, do they work? Not only do I like them, but I really, really put my name behind them and think they're awesome, think they're good for a home gym, think they're good for, whoever wants some nice bumper plates. That was a good feeling. It really, the day that we saw that, we were definitely happy.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. Now you mentioned like what you guys had to do in order to get off the ground. You've got a background, I believe, in starting and running. It says a rubber / urethane manufacturing company before you co-founded HomeGrown Lifting. So, how did that experience help you with developing products specifically like the bumper plates?
Yeah, without that experience, it really wouldn't have been possible. So basically, before we started HomeGrown, I had a company. We were more industrial focused, urethanes, rubbers. I won't bore too many people with the details, but basically we just made big rubber parts for big companies, auto companies, mining companies, things like that. And so, a bumper plate really is just a big rubber part that has to last up to a lot of wear and tear. And that was basically what we were making before. So we were able to take some of the knowledge we had, some of the, suppliers we had, and some of the machinery we already had, and say, okay, this is something we're both interested in, me and my co-founder, Zach. How can we take both of our knowledge bases and make this product? And so over about 2 years, while that other company was still running, we just got some extra equipment and, threw some brain power at it. And slowly but surely, we really built up this product that we were really happy with. And that we really think, obviously a bumper plate is a bumper plate. And at the end of the day, it's a big hunk of rubber you throw up and down. But we did, we added some stuff to it that we think really brought some value to people. The way that we do our collars, some of the raw materials that we put in there just to decrease costs without compromising that really nice quality, and let people get into the home gym, get their home gym and not have to spend $3 a pound, $1,500 to buy $500 of bumper plates. That's something that we were really proud of.
Nice. All right. So you started during the pandemic. As you were saying, there was a bunch of stuff was out of stock. So what I was mentioning before you came on, that one of the things that impresses me the most is you're still around, because so many of these companies that started in the pandemic, they they start and then they vanish, right? You see all their stuff is up on Alibaba and you're like, okay, well, they're gone, right? But you guys are still around. And I actually did a home gym tour within the past month. It's up on my channel now. And the home gym owner, Justin Weeks, stocked his gym with bumpers and collars from HomeGrown Lifting. So what's been key in your mind to sticking around when so many other companies that started during lockdown have already folded?
I think one thing, and I'm not saying other companies don't have this same attitude. I'm sure there are. But one big thing was just kind of our attitude that, obviously we're a company. We want to make money. That's our goal. We got to feed our families. But what we also want, we just want people to be happy with our stuff. And we want to get our stuff to people at a good, fair price. Could we charge more? Probably. Could we make more? Probably. But in the end, I'm not totally sure it would be worth it. So kind of our whole thesis the whole time we've been around has been, let's make a really high quality product, but let's try as best as we can to make this thing affordable, easy to find, easy to buy, easy to use, just make it so that Joe Schmo off the street can get online, order this stuff, get it in his garage the next week and start working out. And then, organically kind of word of mouth, just let that speak for itself instead of, going and investing in some, crazy marketing campaign, any of these crazy promises, stuff like that. Just really making a quality product that works, and then let people be the judge.
Let's switch gears to HomeGymCon this year. This is going to be your second time at HomeGymCon. and I actually played the video clip of your first booth for everybody to check out. Once again, those of you who are just listening, you maybe if you're driving down the road, don't stop to look at a video, okay? I don't want that on my conscience, but you guys can come check out the replay and you will see the video that I'm talking about. You also can check it out if you go to Instagram.com at HomeGrown Lifting and check them out. You'll be able to see some of their clips from HomeGymCon. But as I said, this will be your second time at HomeGymCon. How did the experience of going there in the first year prepare you for year number 2?
Just got us so excited. That first year, we had no idea. I don't think anybody really did what to expect. And we went up there, and it was so much fun. I mean, obviously, we met some great contacts for the business. We met some people. We sold some weights, but just the amount of fun we had, the community that was up there, walking around to everybody's booths, trying out samples, talking to different people, hearing what, somebody in Texas was doing and somebody in New York was doing and somebody in Florida was doing. And just seeing all that, it really got us excited to go back. And there was never a question like, should we do it? Should we not? It was 100% like, man, we want to come back to this. We want to do it bigger. We want to do it better. Like, this is not only is it 100% worth it for us business wise, but it's just a fun time. You go up there and you go to the dinners and you meet all these other cool people who are doing the same stuff as you. And it's really inspiring. And, it's just, you come away from that weekend, you're like, you're re-energized. Exactly. And you go into work on Monday and you're like, yeah, let's get back to it. Let's roll.
Nice. All right. So I on purpose didn't tell you I was going to do this because I want to get your raw reaction. So here you go. That's something I want to show you.
That's just weeks here. Recently, I purchased a set of Homegrown Fitness bumper plates from a company called HomeGrown Fitness out of Kentucky. And I got a set from 2.5 to 45 pounds. They're really great weights. They were super affordable, and I was supporting an American company.
Oh, we love to see that. That puts a smile on my face in the morning.
Nice.
That's awesome to see.
So you got that, but you got it multiplied by however many people were. I think we had like 100 people last year. So you got that multiplied by 100. So what's that like? Because like I said, that's what you're going to be experiencing, because unlike other expos, I don't know what other expos you guys have gone to, but unlike other expos, everybody there is a home gym owner. And even if you go to like some kind of gym industry expo, the people there are pretty much, they're not going to be as exacting. I mean, they want stuff to be durable, but they're like, hey, is this popular? What's the least going to cost me? That kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Home gym owners are like, we want to know the minutia of every little detail. Hey, tell me about your bush. Is this a bushing bar or a bearing bar? What diameter is your shaft? Is it Cerakote? Is this available in Cerakote? All the things you can think of. And then you're going to get feedback from these home gym owners instead of having to wait, to be tagged on Instagram or something, or, nobody likes writing reviews. Mm-hmm. You wish they would, but nobody wants to write a review and put it on your website. So how does it feel not only to get that, but is it also intimidating knowing, hey, these guys are going to kind of like be coming at me. I'm going to have dinner with these people and they're going to tell me exactly what they think of my product, which can be, your product is like your baby. So Tell me about like the mix of emotions.
That's probably been one of the hardest things about switching from, more of a industrial kind of big company focus to this consumer, face-to-face focused product is, you make it, you're really proud of it, and you think it's awesome and like it's your baby, like you said, and then you put it in these people's hands, and like the moment it leaves your hands, you're like, oh crap, like did I do this right? Did I do that right? Like what's that? Is there something wrong here? And so it every time we, from shipping somebody just 210s all the way up to thousands of pounds, every time those go out our door, it's like, I know they're going to be great. I know they're right, but There's always that what if. So it's so rewarding to see videos like that and to hear people, talk about your stuff and go online and see posts, saying, hey, I've got this stuff that was great price. And like, I love it. It's the most durable stuff I've ever used. So it definitely is a roller coaster of like this crazy anxiety of, oh man, like we just want to make people happy. We just want to get the best stuff to them, but we are human. We try, every 1 out of 1,000, we're going to make a mistake. And then that flood of just happiness when you see people being like, yeah, this is 100% worth it. This got me back into lifting. This got my home gym rolling. These are so awesome. I'd recommend them to anybody. That is probably the best feeling that we have day to day is when you just see somebody sit there and say, not only do I like these, but I'm going to recommend these to a friend.
Nice. As a vendor, and you have a home gym, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Because I know your partner has one. Okay. So as a vendor and as a home gym owner, you got to go to HomeGymCon, kind of like wearing 2 pairs of shoes at the same time, right?
Oh yeah.
So what were you most looking forward? Because we, like you said, none of us knew what was going to happen. I mean, I had been to the Arnold a bunch of times. I had been to the Olympia. I had been to when my first job out of college was at a public gym, so I had been to the Perform Better seminar, I think Idea, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what was going to actually come out of HomeGymCon. We were just hoping. So what were you hoping for most as a vendor and as a home gym owner from HomeGymCon?
I think the first time we went as a vendor, we just wanted some exposure. Back we've grown exponentially every year. And so even a year ago, to be where we're at today was like unimaginable. And so back then we just wanted to get out there and take our plates up there and basically say, hey, here we are. Like, judge us off our plates. If you like them, great. If you don't, let us know why. And we'll work on it. We really had no idea what to even expect. I basically loaded up my truck on a Friday, picked Zach up from the airport Saturday morning at like 5 a.m. and we just drove up there and hoped for the best, really. So that was a little bit, we just wanted to get our stuff out there. As more of a consumer, I wanted to just go up there. That's my first fitness expo I'd ever been to. I've never been to any of the other ones.
Don't judge the rest of them by that, okay?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, because like the Arnold, you need a lubricant to walk.
Really?
So, yeah, it's actually so a lot of home gym owners tend to lean introverted, all right? And even I lean a little introverted. I can function in public spaces, but I would prefer not to be there, right? And at the Arnold, it is so crowded that you literally you're sliding past people all day.
Really?
So just think about, literally, you're sliding past people all day. You're like that, right? There's this contact, flesh on flesh, or, I guess you're wearing clothes. So like t-shirt on t-shirt or whatever. So if you just think about the germ transference.
Oh yeah.
When COVID happened, they stopped the Arnold because it's so crowded that there's no way to have it without everybody just being up on each other. You breathe the same air for however long you're there. HomeGymCon to me was a breath of fresh air in that it was very, very, I would say it's weird to call it this, but it's intimate.
Oh yeah. That was probably my favorite part about it. You would go up to these booths and there were plenty of people there, but you go up and immediately somebody come out and be like, hey man, what's up? Have you seen our newest bar? Have you seen our newest, drink? Have you seen, these plates we got? It was so cool. Anytime you walked around, just immediately being able to see that.
I saw a lot of vendors talking to you. Like, you think everybody's like competing with each other. I mean, obviously everybody wants to do well in business, but I saw a lot of collaborations happen. Like people like, hey, you know what? We need to work together. We make similar stuff. You make a thing that we don't make, but that will make our thing that we make better. Let's figure out business partnerships and things. So that was really cool. I mean, it was great for me because as a content creator, one of the things you want is to be able to get interviews. So I had all of you guys like as a captive audience in one place, and I actually couldn't even interview everybody. I'm like running around with my camera, and setting up and catching 5-minute interviews with everybody. So I've got a list, and you guys are on it, but there's a list of people I didn't get to talk to last time. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna start with the people I didn't talk to last time, and then go back around to the people I did talk to, But that was really cool. So I just told you one of the things I want to do. I want to be able to catch up with people I wasn't able to catch up with. What is something that you didn't get to do that you'd like to be able to do this year? I know it's the spa.
I think probably just visit all the booths a little bit like what you said, just get to see everybody and talk to everybody. I think last year we were a little bit too caught up in, it was just me and Zach there. And we were like, oh my gosh, we can't leave our booth. Like if we leave our booth, what if somebody comes by and has a question? What if somebody comes by and wants this or that? So I do think we got a little bit too uptight, and we were just sitting there, kind of holding our breath. So I think this year we're hoping to, bring some other people with us, and just get out and relax and have a little bit more fun. Go talk to people, go make some friends. Kind of like how we do with the plates. Just if you just make friends with people and talk to them on a human level, everything else will come in time. So that's, I think, what I'm most looking forward to. And then, just staying. Last year we only went for a day, staying a little longer this year. And
so you guys gonna get there Thursday?
I think we're gonna get there Friday morning, real early.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just asking because so I'll get there Thursday night, and I probably want to get around and do some stuff. So actually, I can catch up with you guys and meet you in person. Whenever you guys show up.
Yeah, we should be there Friday morning, super early, I think.
Yeah. So, let me circle back a little bit. So you guys have bumpers. You got a few different storage solutions. We were looking at your website a little earlier. Yeah. You've got various bars. You got 30 millimeter men's weightlifting bar, and then you got your 28 millimeter women's bar, and then you've got a hex bar, and then you've got 2 different rack options. Okay, so what all did you take to HomeGymCon last year out of the things I just listed?
Last year, all we had was bumpers and bars. We had just come out with our loadable dumbbell.
Okay, yeah, I saw that on the table.
Yeah, exactly. So last year was just bumpers, couple bars, then our loadable dumbbell. That was really all we had offer-wise. And now this year, we the bumpers are kind of our bread and butter. That's really what we'll focus on this year again. So we'll have some of that other stuff, but our baby is the bumpers. That's kind of what we've known for, what we've grown up on. So we'll have all that other stuff there, and we stand behind all that other stuff too. We think it's great to bundle that all together. But come and check out the bumpers are going to be kind of the main focus still.
So let's talk about your bumpers a little bit. Are they recycled? Are they chrome, or are they brand new?
They're chrome. So we take what we do for anybody who doesn't really know about it. Imagine like AstroTurf, just maybe a hair finer. We basically take that and we mix it with a really, really, really strong glue. It's a urethane glue. So we mix it all together, put it in molds, and then under really high heat, really high pressure, we press them out. And after a certain amount of time, out pops these effectively brand new looking bumpers. And they're made out of basically old car tires and urethane. So
it's recycling.
Yeah. So for some people who want, the green, carbon footprint, all that, I mean, you're truly buying something that otherwise was just going to go to a landfill and sit there probably for 10 million years because the stuff just doesn't break down. It's impossible.
So this is interesting because I told you that I did a home gym tour with this guy who I showed you. Well, I was actually at his house. He goes to church with me. And a lot of times with the chrome bumpers, there's an odor, but yours didn't have an odor. So do you guys sit them out to, basically you sit them in the sun and the odor will go away over time. So do you guys go through a special process before you ship them out to get rid of the odor?
No, that has a lot to do with the glue we use. So a lot of that odor will come from, certain chemical processes. As the glue cures, it's going to do something called off-gassing. Yeah. And some glues, that gas that comes off just smells really bad. Smells industrial, rubbery, kind of nasty. the glue we use, it's just been formulated to not do that. So, if you stick your nose down on our plates, it's still going to smell like a fresh rubber plate. But we tell people you can put these in your basement, lock the door, come back a year later, and you'll have no idea they were even there. Come back 6 hours later, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they're not going to smell, because I have smelled some of those other plates, and in an enclosed space, it's not the greatest.
It's like with some of the stall mats too, because they're made for horses, and the horse ain't gonna complain about the smell, but definitely will, if it So I just noticed that Carp's Gym, Coach Carp, he's a content creator, and he's got a really great YouTube channel as well as a great Instagram. You guys should follow that, Carp's Gym. But Carp, you in the chat. So if you have a question or anyone has a question for Will, we've only got about 10 more minutes with him. So if you guys have a question for Will, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. And as I said, if you're watching on replay, put your question in the comments, and I'll ask Will to come back around and just check out the comments and answer any questions you guys have that you guys may have. But one more question about your bumpers. They come in oil. Okay, that's part of the process, to protect them, right? Because you don't know when you make a tire, when you make a bumper plate, you don't know when it's going to sell. So you have to store it in the oil so that it doesn't sit in a warehouse and degrade, right? So what would be your best advice for somebody when the bumpers arrive at their house to get some of the oil residue off?
Gotcha. So just to clarify, so that oily residue, that's from the mold release we use. So when you put these in these molds, they're pressed under 200,000 pounds of pressure. Well, that if you don't have a mold release and oil on them, you'll never get them out. We couldn't even make them. So that's where that oily residue comes from. And a little bit of that will penetrate into those bumpers. To get that off, we recommend just, some warm water, a little bit of degreaser, soap, anything will work, from a detergent to
You mean the stuff they use on the birds whenever an oil spill?
Exactly. You can't, a lot of people I think are worried that, I don't want to mess these up. They're brand new. You can wipe these things down with gasoline and they won't get messed up. Don't do that, but you can.
Whoa, hold on. Don't put gasoline on your bumper plates.
Exactly. So you can just take any, just a little warm water, a little soap, kind of wipe them down once or twice, and then they should be good to go. Some people, I know that's probably the one complaint that we get the most often, is that there is that oily residue. And unfortunately, it's just something that due to the manufacturing process, we just kind of have to deal with. So just a little warm water, a little soap, wipe them down. We have had people in the past, and I personally have done this, after you wipe them down, if you have a little gym chalk, just kind of sprinkle a little bit of that on there, and that kind of coats it and keeps it from getting on your hands or anything like that. But really after about a week of use, even if you don't wipe them down, it'll just wear off eventually, just through through natural processes. So that would be our recommendation.
Nice. All right, so we got a question in the chat from Zoom1510. That name is just legendary right there. Will, what booth are you at this year at HomeGymCon? Do you know what booth number you have?
I'd have to look. I think it's D6 and 7 is going to be. That is the floor designation we were given. I'm not sure what number that equates to. I know we're going to be right next to
in the main expo, the main event. Yeah,
we'll be in the main room. We'll be about right in the middle. I think a little bit closer to the. If I remember correctly, the Sornex booth will be kind of diagonal to us, right across the way. So, we'll be right about in the middle.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I appreciate your question, man. It looks like we got another guy. So another content creator, Trey Z, DMV Sports 3. That's an excellent YouTube channel. I've actually been on there a couple of times. They do a lot of Washington-based sports. So I appreciate you being here, my man. Let's go. We're trying to get him. In case you're wondering why that's relevant to what we're talking about right now, I'm trying to get him to start a home gym. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a potential customer right there. All right.
So yeah, reach out to us. We'll
Yeah, so you need to hit up HomeGrown Lifting. You see his @ right there. He's on Instagram. And then also, let me go ahead and put your website information there, because we're about to talk about something that I know everybody on here is going to be pretty excited about. You guys gave a discount when you did your AMA on Reddit at our home gym. If you're watching this live stream, are you able to get a discount on your HomeGymCon? I mean, on their homegrown lifting products?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me just go ahead. We're gonna solo. This is important. All right. So they can get a discount.
Yeah. Let me. I forget exactly what the code is. Let me look at it real quick.
Well, I'll help you with that. Use discount code Best Gym in Town. Will that work?
Best Gym in Town. I tell you what, we started at 5%, but I'm going to change it right now. If you're listening, you can go ahead and use that discount. We'll give you 10% off any order. I think that's going to be good till Monday. Yep. So yeah, Best Gym in Town. Put that in, 10% off anything in our store. Awesome,
man. I appreciate that, dude. That's awesome. So right there, you see it. All right, there is a benefit for watching live. So even if you're watching on replay, you can go to homegrownlifting.com, use code Best Gym in Town at checkout, and you'll get 10% off. Okay. All right. Only 2 more questions from me. Do you guys plan to offer in-person discounts at HomeGymCon? So if somebody's there and they want to buy something and throw it in the back of the car, will they get a discount at the event?
For sure. Yeah, we haven't. I think we're up in the air about exactly what it's going to be, but there will definitely be some discounted plates under $1 a pound. So, yeah, what it would just come by, it'll probably be around a 10% discount on anything we got. So, 90-cent a pound plates picked up in person. It's going to be a hard price to beat.
So, what if somebody flies there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we got a fair number of people who are flying into like Louisville or they're flying into Indianapolis. If you fly there, is it possible to be standing right there with you? I did this last year with a couple of stuff, and say, hey man, I'm buying this thing. Can you ship it to my house? Because I can't fit it in my suitcase. You guys will you be able to do that?
Oh, for sure. We ship anywhere in the lower 48. We can ship, effectively it's not going to get there next day. It ships out next day. But anything from 210s, like I said, if you want 10,000 pounds, we can get it shipped to you, pretty quickly and at a really good price too. So if you're there and you want our stuff, we'll give you that 90-cent a pound price. And then, just give us your ship to address and we'll figure out the shipping rates and we'll get it out to you the next day.
Awesome. All right. And then last question from me. This one is actually one of the ones I'm really excited about. What can people expect from the homegrown lifting booth at HomeGymCon that they should be excited about? If you're attending HomeGymCon, what is the number one reason you should go to the homegrown lifting booth when you get there?
So we're working on a product right now. We're pretty excited about it. One of the big complaints about crumb rubber plates in general and just bumpers in general is, I can't fit enough on the bar. I can't fit enough on the bar. Some of these bigger guys who are pulling, 600 and 700 pounds, they want to fit that all on the bar. And with these big bumper plates, you just can't. So no promises, but I know we're pulling some more samples out of the molds today of kind of a thinner style, still a bumper plate, but a thinner style 45-pound bumper plate where you are going to be able to get up to those, big deadlift numbers or shoot if you're strong enough squat numbers, whatever you want to do, but still in that bumper style format where, drop it on the floor, the plates are going to be fine, your floor is going to be fine. Yeah, we did a Reddit AMA last week, or it might have been 2 weeks ago actually. And that was the number one thing people wanted was, hey, we love your plates, but I can't fit, 600 or 700 pounds on the bar. So we're going to come out with a thin 45 where you are going to be able to do that. And you are going to be able to, get kind of that metal plate feel where you're really loading that bar up, but in a bumper format to where if you bail on it, if you drop it, good to go.
That is actually one of the things that causes me not to like bumper plates. I don't have as many bumper plates because of the fact that I can't fit enough on the bar. So I've got like one pair of 45s, a pair of 35s, and then I have 2 pairs of 25s. I just happen to have 2 pairs of 25s, and then some 15s, right? But my point is, I'd have more 45s.
Yeah.
If if they didn't take up so much space, because I've got like probably just in 45s in metal plates, I got like over 600 pounds of metal plates, specifically because of what you just said. But that being said, do you know? So you said that you guys are working on it, but and no promises. But is this something that you're expecting to bring out this year? So this is like a thing we're working on for 2024 by Christmas, or is this like a it's kind of like a 2025 thing?
No, this is like we want to launch at HomeGymCon. We want to be there at HomeGymCon. Okay. Not only have the plate for people to touch, but say, hey, order them. We'll ship them out. Right. Again, no promises. It might be a month or two after when we actually.
But you'll have like prototypes there.
Oh, we'll have prototypes, and I mean, my goal personally is to have production units that we can sell. That's that. I'd say there's a 90% chance of that. So that is our goal, is to have those. We've got the molds made. We're running parts, so have those to where people can actually pick them up at HomeGymCon.
Outstanding, man. Will, thank you so much for being here. I've got your website information and that discount code going across the bottom of the screen. But tell people before you go, let them know what's the best way for them to reach out to HomeGrown Lifting if they want to ask you more questions or if they want to place an order. Especially you, Trey Z. All right, because you said you're taking the challenge, you're getting a home gym in 2024. So how can Trey Z reach you to buy stuff from you? Go ahead and let him know.
Best, easiest way, give us a call. It'll go right to my phone. I'll be the one that picks it up and answers it. So get online, look up our phone number there, and just give us a call. If you're not the call type person, shoot us an email, info@homegrownlifting.com. And again, we'll get around to. We don't let them sit in our inbox, 2 or 3 days. You'll get a response within a couple of hours. And any questions you got, any orders you want to place, really anything. Nothing's too small to talk about. So just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Well, man, like I said, I know you got to run. You got a full day. I appreciate you carving out some time for us. Thank you so much for being here. This is Will Whitman of HomeGrown Lifting. All right. Appreciate it, my man. You have a good day.
Thanks for having me. We appreciate it.
All right, man. Later. All right. So let's see here. It is 3 minutes to 8 o'clock. It is almost time to say hello to another time zone. All right. So let's go ahead and let's do it early right now. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Good morning. Welcome. All right. We've just been up for a few hours longer than you, but that doesn't make us superior. It just means we're ahead. Okay. So welcome to the show. If this is your first time being here on the Way Too Early for Friday podcast, if you're just joining us, this is the only home gym morning show, as far as I know, in existence. So there's the only one on YouTube. There's the only one on Facebook. There's the only one on Twitter. All right. This one right here, it is designed so you don't have to sit in front of your desk. You do not have to you don't have to be shackled to your screen. Now, put us in your phone. You can listen to the episode as you're driving to work. We've got people who do that. If you're sitting at work, you can have them on your phone. Now, if your boss doesn't want you doing that, that's fine. But what you need to do is make sure you hide it. Maybe you want to have something else that you have set up so that you can kind of, have like a spreadsheet or something you can pop up real fast to make sure your boss doesn't realize that you're not working. And, but this is an awesome show. We have a lot of fun. We got the Friday dance party. We've got a bunch of cool stuff that you guys can do. So I appreciate our guest, Will, once again, for joining us. You guys, you got his contact information. You can hit him up there. And now we're going to be moving into our next segment. We're going to have Ashton Ferrazo. He's going to be joining us from Freedom Fitness Equipment, and he's going to be talking about Freedom Fitness Equipment, giving you a little bit of background on his company, and then also the Power Rack project that he and I can't say he and I have been working on it because I didn't really do anything. I just told him what I wanted, and then I said, here you go. I went and did other stuff. All right. So basically, Ashton's coming to give me an update on the progress of the project. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about HomeGymCon as well, because this is also going to be Ashton's second time at HomeGymCon. So let's go ahead and bring him on right now. Ashton, what's up, man? Wake up! Are you
How's it
up?
going, buddy? Good to
Do
see
I
you.
need to wake you up like I did Will? Do I need to wake you up like I did Will? Because I'll do it. I ain't scared at all. I will do it. All you got to, all right? Just, you know what? I don't believe you. You're not up.
You've been shot down, get yourself up. Been locked down, get yourself up.
There you go. Are you awake now? You
Oh, yeah.
good? All right, good. Welcome. I should do like the Robin Williams. Good morning, Vietnam. I should do it like that. So, anyway, well, man, I'm glad you joined us here. For those who don't know, Ashton actually is he's our first show sponsor. So he sponsors the Friday dance party that I just played a clip of. So I figured I'd play it so you see what you spent your money on. You're like, what?
I love that. I love that.
I like to withdraw myself because I'm just kidding. All right, so man, first of all, for those who don't know, who are not familiar with you, you've got a huge YouTube channel, but it's still possible to have a big YouTube channel and people not know who you are, right? So go ahead and talk a little bit about Freedom Fitness Equipment. What's your background? How long have you been doing this? And just give the people who are watching a little bit of insight into your brand.
Yeah, so this is the warehouse. We actually have two. This is a 6,000 square foot space, and then I've got next door 10,000 square feet. We sell new and used gym equipment. I started in my backyard right around the pandemic. Thought it would be a cute little side hobby, and it blew up into something that is now a nationwide brand and entity, both for home gyms as well as commercial gyms. I love this stuff, especially the commercial stuff. It really good value on the used side, and there's not a lot of us that promote ourselves very well on social media, so I'm trying to bring the word to folks like yourself who haven't heard of used commercial grade, and I love this stuff. It's a lot of fun. So we've been doing this for about 3 or 4 years now, and I've got a full crew. I'd literally just started with myself, just driving around hauling stuff in the back of my truck, and now it's full warehouse staff, all of that good stuff. It's been quite the ride.
I was gonna say, I really hope that you have a staff, because let's give you the big layout again. Because if you had to do all of that by yourself, I cry for you and your family.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of weight. Okay, that's a lot of weight. So let's how many brands? Because obviously there's a bunch of stuff back there, but you're an authorized dealer for more than one brand, right?
Right.
So how many brands are you authorized? What is it, like a reseller, a dealer? How many brands are you authorized for?
So we're a dealer distributor for probably, I haven't done an exact count lately because it's been fluctuating, but probably 20 or 30 different manufacturers. And we're adding more all the time because I'm trying to increase the number of options. I'm pretty vicious about making sure that we're providing the best value to our clients. And so some manufacturers are just overpriced and don't have good quality. And so we keep switching or swapping out certain brands for others. But I have my favorites. I think, like you, big fan of like Body Solid and that kind of thing. But yeah, we're probably at 20 or 30 different manufacturers. So for those listening, if there's something that you don't see on the website or something you don't see that you're thinking about getting, I can almost guarantee you in 99.99% of cases, we carry it. It's just a matter of grabbing it from one of our distributors.
Okay, so just for example, you and I are both fans of Body Solid. That's one of the brands that you guys distribute. So what's another brand that somebody would recognize that you guys carry?
So all of the Crunch Fitnesses in the United States have what's called Core Health and Fitness, which is the Star Trek brand. So Star Trek, Stairmaster, Nautilus, Schwinn.
TRAC.
That's right. And we rep that brand very, very well. Nautilus has been around for ages. Another one people might know is, we're going to think, Landis. But the Star Trek brand is probably the most well-known as far as what we rep.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the project. All right. Everybody loves homework, right?
Yeah.
So unless you're the one doing it. So so the way I approached Ashton was, I said, I don't remember if I text you or not, but what I said was, I need a forever in between power rack. right? And in fact, let me pull you up so people can see your face because I didn't get to see his face when I said it. I was like, so I want to know what were you thinking when I said, hey man, I need a favor, and you're like, yeah, what you got? And I'm like, DM you and said, I need a forever in between power rack, and like, what were you thinking? Like, what?
I had a inkling of what you were talking about, and I didn't know if you meant in between as like in between reviews, or if you meant in between as like between crappy and great. But I had a little bit of an inkling. It was funny to me. I was listening on the phone. I was like, "Where's he going with this?" But yeah, I had a little bit of that.
Well, you're not the first person to think that when I start a conversation with him. We got a from LFG RX podcast, and he gets calls from me, and he's like, "What? Okay, I'll just sit back and listen because I don't know where we're gonna end up." Joe, I do this to Joe Gray too all the time. So what I mean by that is the rack has to be sturdy and durable. I want it to be sturdy, durable enough to last for a long time, because as you were saying, it's gonna be an in-between rack. So right now, the rack that's downstairs is a rack that I got because I was doing a review on it. Okay, well, that rack is gonna go bye-bye. I need a rack in its place, right?
Yep.
And so I need a rack for those times, but it also be something I can take apart that's not super complicated. I can take it apart, and actually, I don't even care about it being complicated, but it's got to be, when I take it apart, it's got to be able to store easily, because it's going to be, it takes me 3 months to do a review completely. So it's going to be off to the side for at least 3 months. So it's got to be durable. And then also, I think I remember saying, I don't want it to be so nice that I'll turn down stuff, because I already get invites to do equipment reviews, and I'm like, but it's not nicer than what I have now. And so I have to like battle. I have to remind myself, hey, you do this. This is the business. So you have to, and there's somebody out there who doesn't have what you have. So I'm doing this review for them. Like, is this a worthwhile use of your money? Because, everybody's money is precious. So you don't want to just go wasting it. So, but I don't want my current rack to stop me from reviewing a rack. You know what I mean? So, yep. I said, all right, find me a rack with these specs. All right. So the specs I said are integrated plate storage, but I said I didn't want a functional trainer, because I want to be able to review products like the Bully Glider and the Dial Motion, what's that, the Ibex and the Sidewinder, or even the UPS from Surplus Strength. I want to be able to review attachments like that. And it's tough. It's not impossible, but it's gonna be tough to review the Bully Glider if you've got a functional trainer attachment on your rack already. Okay, so it's got to not have that. It's in a garage, so I have slightly taller ceilings, and a lot of these racks are like 80 inches, and that's too short. So I don't want it to be super tall, no higher than 88 inches if possible, but I don't want an 80-inch rack because I don't want to have to like scrunch up my legs. I don't want to do a leg raise just to hang from the bar and do pull-ups. And then I gave you some specs, 62.5 inches from front to back, and then 58 inches on the outside diameter from side to side. So this is all stuff that I told you just to catch everybody up. Of course, 3x3 posts for the culture, then 11 gauge steel because I like my life, and I prefer 1-inch hole spacing. All right, and I said, let's not break the bank. So now that everybody's caught up, this is what I asked you for. Now this is the part where I get to see what you found. All right. So Ashton is the equipment matchmaker, if you're not aware. So, all right, show me what you got. Let's give you the big screen right here.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. So I'm going to walk you through a few things that we have at the warehouse that are close to what you were talking about. And then I'm going to focus in on the one that I think would probably be the best fit. But just a couple of things here first. So we've got the Frey half rack. That's this white piece right here.
That's Frey.
Yeah, so this is probably not exactly what you're looking for, but this is 3x3 11 gauge steel with 1-inch holes. It's got a little bit of weight storage on the back, you can see.
Okay, like the ground?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not, it's not for a full 4-post rack, and it is tall. It's 90 inches, 91 inches tall. It's a beast, and they make, 4-post versions of this that you can get, but this may or may not be exactly what you want, especially just because it's only the 2 posts and it's somewhat.
I'm looking for at least 4 posts. I prefer 6 posts, but at least 4.
Yep.
So
This is the other option that I was thinking of for you. But again, and this is the GPR 400. You and I both love the Body Solid brand. So this is the Body Solid brand with the lat pull down attachment.
All right, let's
Really like this. I'm just going to show your audience. So it's got, you can get weight storage for it. It's got the multi-grip pull-up bar, and this one has the lat attachment in the back here, but it's got 5/8 holes. So very thick UHMW, 80 inches tall. Again, that's a no-no. The multi-grip makes it slightly taller, but this is a really good rack just in general for folks who are looking for something economical. But for what you need this to be a little bit taller, and you need the holes to be, like you said, 1 inch.
Is that what, 82 inches?
80? Yeah. I think with the multi-grip, that's about 82, 83. So,
I'm not
yeah.
the tallest dude, but I'm tall enough not to want that.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I've got the wall mounts out because that won't work. Let me see here. So I'm gonna walk you around.
The wall mount, but it's just because of the walls in my gym, it's not gonna work.
I hear you. And by the way, for folks listening, this is what I do with everybody. I try to get a good idea of what their training style is, space, all that good stuff. I don't try to pitch people when they walk in the door. I'm trying to actually consult with folks and give them an idea of what they actually need. This is what I think you're probably looking for here. This is a beast of a rack. This is a Williams strength rack. Yeah, and this is used. But so it to me it fits your kind of in between definition, which means it's not nice enough where you're like, I would never want another rack in the world, but it's also a very sturdy collegiate rack. So this is 11 gauge steel with 1 inch holes.
Yeah, okay.
Got all the J cups, got the storage. I'll do a top to down view.
All right. I like the weight storage. But see, the other ones didn't have enough weight storage. That one looks like it's got good enough storage for me because I've got 45s all the way up to, I could probably put maybe my 1 1/4s on there too. Nice.
Yeah. Pull-up bar. The nice thing about this, sorry, go ahead.
This used to be in a school?
It did. Yeah. This was Mustangs. I'm sure that was a high school or a college team. That is a wow, I'm losing my this is a slide-in spotter arm. What do you call those? The drop-in arms.
Okay.
Yeah, those are nice. And this is still 3x3, so because I measured just to make sure. Yeah. This is 88 inches tall and doesn't exceed the 60 or 62 inch front to back spacing that you were talking about. This would probably.
The reason that's important is because there's a wall, so my deadlift platform is on one side of the gym, and then where the rack is going to be on the other side. So I need to have a clear pathway to walk through, because that's actually one of the ways that we get to the. My mom lives with us, and so that's like how she gets in and out. So I can't block it, All right.
Yeah.
So all right. So yeah, I like that. I really, and then Williams Strength is a legit brand, man.
They're amazing.
A lot of people don't realize, but Williams Strength is actually who makes the stuff for Elite FTS. So they've been they invented the Prowler sled. So and they're involved with the invention of the Tsunami bar. So they've got a really good pedigree in terms of strength sports. I interviewed Byung Kim with Williams Strength, like maybe at the start of the pandemic. So nice. I'm familiar with the brand, but I've never actually owned any of their stuff. I've trained on some stuff that they made for Elite FTS, but I never actually owned any of their stuff. So that looks kind of legit. So, all right, what do you guys say in the chat? Based upon what you guys hear, what do you guys think of the racks that we're looking at here? I'm leaning towards the Williams Strength one. Are there any racks that you guys want to see again? Or do you want to see something else that Ashton has in his there in the inventory? Kind of get a mini tour. You got all those dumbbells right there.
Yeah, these are rubber hex dumbbells. Just, I tell people rubber hex dumbbells are rubber hex dumbbells. They're all roughly the same. You can get them pretty much anywhere. We have up to 100, and we're probably going to be getting up to 120, but I've always got these in stock. And then we get a mix of used dumbbells from time to time. But just the standard stuff.
So I said that because we have somebody in the chat who's setting up his home gym for the first time. My guy, Trey Z, he actually has a YouTube channel. He and his some friends he grew up with have a YouTube channel. They talk about the NFL and they talk about the NBA. And I've actually been a guest on that channel. So he's in here looking for he's he said he's like, this is his first time dipping his toe in the home gym water. So
Nice.
so now he got to see the stuff from Homegrown Lifting, and now he's checking you out because you've got like a bunch of stuff from a bunch of different companies. So we do have actually some questions in here. We have a request for me not to do the Robin Williams. Well, it's too late. Let's see. LFG RX podcast says body solid. Yep. And they also have a question for you. They said they want to know what's your take on Nike entering the gym equipment market.
Oh,
That
man.
should be something. All right. You want me to go viral. So yeah, go ahead. That's how your last video went viral, Ashton. Go ahead. Do for me what you've done for yourself. I don't care about haters. That's engagement. That's good for the algorithm. Go ahead.
So, man, I get myself in so much trouble sometimes for hot takes and leaving people off of things. And so the Nike stuff is interesting to me, right? Because they're branching more into, and this was a hot take from Jake actually on Garage Gym Experiments. Somebody who's telling him, they could take over what Rogue's doing for CrossFit, just because of how much they're producing on the equipment side now. I don't like, so I'll be honest. They came out with a bar, they came out with plates, they came out with a rack, like all generic stuff that honestly everybody else makes. It's all this imported Chinese crap, which again, nothing wrong with imported stuff. It's literally what everybody else makes. The one thing I love about the Nike stuff is those regrind plates, which are made partially from some of their shoes that they've reground and made in factories overseas with small children. But anyway, so I like the look. It's a really nice look. And I would, as a consumer, like that makes me want to buy the plates. But as far as Nike, the brand coming out with something unique, I was really hoping for more. I like the concept. I like the fact that they're going for it. And I like the fact that if they wanted to, they could throw millions of dollars at CrossFit and maybe take over what Rogue is doing, like Jake was saying. But yeah, it's kind of more just generic stuff that they've got going on aside from those regrind plates, which are unique. I did find out from, I think it was Joe at Gray Matter, that they do, or somebody from that crew, they do yellow over time, and they yellow pretty fast. So that's kind of a downside of having those kind of plates, which I don't know if that's the material or what it is, but I'm net positive on the plates, net negative on everything else they're doing.
So I noticed that no one asked me, and it's my show, but I'll say my opinion anyway. I'm just kidding. So my thought process about that is Nike obviously has the funds to make something that will last a long time.
Yeah.
But if it lasts a long time, guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to replace it.
Right.
Whereas if you buy it and it wears out and you're like a fan of the Nike brand, what will you do? You'll buy more, because that's the approach they take to their shoes.
Yeah.
Right? Because remember, like the Vibrams, when the Vibrams came out, that was the first time, those Vibram 5 fingers. And then you started seeing regular shoes made out of Vibram soles, because everybody noticed how long the Vibram soles lasted, right? And before that, you would just, your shoes wear out, you just buy a new one, buy a new pair of shoes. Well,
Yep.
That's the approach Nike takes for their shoes. So they're taking a shoe approach to equipment. So you have to replace it. And then also, they have like some Nike studios coming out. I believe they have some show, and they're going to have Nike studios. So I from what everybody I've heard from says, they basically want to have their own branded stuff in their studio, as opposed to having to pay licensing fees for, if they had Rogue stuff, they'd have to pay Rogue, just for example. So they're like, we're not paying anybody anything. We're going to, have our own stuff. So let's see what the chat says. So everybody's agreeing. So far people agree with me that Williams looks like a solid rack, and they're calling Nike the Planet Fitness of gym gear. That's vicious right there. that's vicious. In case you're watching and you're not into home gyms, that's not a compliment. Call it the Planet Fitness. Call it anything the Planet Fitness of anything. That's like calling something. Remember how like Taco Bell used to have like the crappy food? Like that's like the worst version of Mexican food. Okay, that's what Planet Fitness is to gym gear, and that's what. Yeah, that's vicious. That's rough. So let's talk a little bit about this Williams rack that I do like.
Yeah.
What is the shipping cost going to be on that stuff?
So the
What's
nice
my
thing
cost
about
to have it, and what's shipping going to cost me?
yeah. So this rack is only so we get racks like these a lot, and there's a good and a bad side to these.
Okay.
So the good side is they're crazy beefy and very heavy duty and very high quality. The problem is you get, because of the height restrictions, like you've got a nice garage with a decent height. Most home gyms don't have more than 80 inches to spare, and usually no further because their ceilings are fairly low. And
in a garage?
In a garage, yeah. So we can have like that GPR rack fits really well.
I'm in the South. People have pickup trucks. And
Yeah.
Trucks are taller. So okay.
Yeah. They've got, and usually it depends on what garage you're in, but usually these racks they're usually very, very tall, even taller in some cases than 88 inches, and they just don't fit in like an interior part of the home or even in the garage in some cases, just because of where the garage door is. Maybe I should have clarified. Yeah. So we have problems selling the racks, so we just discount them like crazy. So these are only like, for you, this is $600, and then shipping I've got, because you're somewhat local to the East Coast and the Carolinas, I've got private shippers that go all up and down the East Coast. We'll throw them on their truck. They have extra space on a trailer, and they'll just bring it down for a really reduced rate. So shipping to you is only $350, whereas I ran the rate on freight. Like a traditional freight carrier, Estes, XPO, they would be probably $500 to $1,000 to ship this rack, which is ridiculous.
Oh yeah. So we're looking at like what, $950?
$950. Yep.
Okay, that'll work.
Awesome.
I'm sold. That fits because I wanted, because I wanted to stay under 1,000.
Yeah.
So we managed to stay under $1,000. And you told me that you do this for people all the time.
I do.
Now, typically, it's not part of a live stream.
Yeah.
But I'm actually thinking about making this a regular segment. Like we just have like once a month, Ashton comes on here. And we find somebody who's setting up their home gym, and we have them come on, and they do this exact thing with you. And
that'd be awesome.
They're like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We'll work that out behind the scenes. We'll be able to do that. But
I love it.
You say that you get these all the time.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the question: do you take used equipment? I know that you said racks don't really move well.
Yeah.
But so let's say somebody's got some other piece of exercise equipment, like a bench, right?
Right.
And they said they want to trade that in. Do you take equipment in trade?
We do. So here's my spiel. I'm very transparent about how our business runs. So if it's Marcy, Gold's Gym, all these residential products, generally you're going to get next to nothing. However, if it's commercial grade, like these Williams strength racks, or you've got a commercial grade bench or a piece of equipment, you're welcome to contact me. Our resale values on used equipment are fairly low, especially coming to us. So yes, we will take almost anything residential, maybe or maybe not, commercial grade for sure. And then what you would get on a trade, kind of like a car dealer, is going to be more than just a straight cash deal. So if you've got something in your garage and it's been sitting there for 10 years, it may or may not be worth a lot, but we can always look at it and say, hey, we'll give you something for it. Just, you will make more. This is going to sound like a reverse pitch, and it is. You can make more money on Facebook.
It's not, but it's like,
yeah.
It is.
No, it's like you can make more money on Facebook Marketplace. I'll turn people away and just be like, look, you've got a bench. I'm gonna offer you $20 for it. You can make 100 on Facebook Marketplace. Just go there. But I'm happy to always look at the equipment. And in some cases, it'll surprise you. Like I can offer more for certain pieces because they're super popular. And then you can buy something here at a discount because we got that trade going on. But yeah, absolutely. All the time, I'll take a look at it. Just, set the expectations as far as, what trade-in's worth and that kind of thing.
Okay. So do me a favor and just I'm going to give you the big screen again. Show us your, give us like a quick view of your inventory. You can be like you don't have to give us a full tour because that's a lot of stuff there, but just kind of give us an idea, just so people can kind of see what they're working with.
Yep.
And we can keep talking.
Awesome. All right. So on this back wall, this is kind of, this is the entrance to our warehouse. We got a little side door here with a bay. The bay goes into the next warehouse, which I don't know if my signal will go that far, But in the next warehouse, not this one, we have cardio and flooring. This one is kind of our showroom unofficially. So we've got a lot of strength equipment, plates. I'll show you here what kind of plates we have. We got some bells of steel stuff. We've got some standard Olympic plates, a good leg curl extension, all of our bars over here. And when you walk in, you can kind of see, all of that stuff. So I'll kind of walk you as if you're coming in the door. Say what?
You trade in bars as well? Used
Yeah,
bars?
absolutely. Yeah. We actually we get used bars from high schools and stuff all the time. So if you come in here, first thing you'll see is this rack, the GPR rack. We've got a big universal station, which I absolutely love here. That's a light commercial station. And then our functional trainer on the back side. This universal station is a beast. It's a Smith half rack and functional trainer in one. Yeah. Very similar to what Jacked Up brand sells. I think this one does a little bit more. That's our Powerline functional trainer.
Okay. Which is also a body solid product, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Powerline's body solid. They've got a 10-year warranty on it new, but do they have a warranty on it? I don't know if that one's new or used.
That one's new, yeah. So
it's a 10-year warranty then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are the Powerline stuff. It's 11 gauge steel. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
I put those in fire departments, and I usually only put commercial grade in fire departments, but that one's a good hybrid between like residential and full commercial.
Yeah.
It lasts. Half racks. We got different racks here, and you can see all of our plates and all of our other kind of accessories as you walk into our warehouse. And then back
all
here,
this stuff except for my Williams strength rack is for sale.
Exactly.
They can't have that. I'll send you my money in a minute. All right.
We've got kettlebells, medicine balls. Oh, we got some Fringe Sports Immortal balls. And all back here.
Are legit. Now, are those brand new? Or
they are. No. So we have a mix of new and used. These are all new kettlebells, new tennis balls. Yeah, that kind of thing. The Immortal ball is brand new. I love that thing.
That's the one that they shot.
Yes.
So like how well it lasts. Yeah, that's a legit piece of equipment.
They dropped that from 30,000 feet and it didn't deform, which was insane.
What's insane is they dropped it from 30,000 feet. I'm like, how do you know nobody's going to be underneath you? But
yeah, that was risky.
Yeah.
Way back here, all of our strength equipment. So we've got selectorized, which is little weight stacks, and then plate loaded, which is obviously plates. We get new, mainly used in the middle here. So I actually got some Williams strength, isolateral leg presses and things back here, which are really neat. And then all the boxes you see are just kind of new inventory that we have on hand, benches and things that we store. Next door, which I would go back there. I just don't want to lose our signal. That's all our cardio.
This is what I wanted. Like, you just kind of let people see, because you get stuff from a lot of different places. And I wanted people to get an idea of what you're able to source, whether it's new or used, so they know that it's not just like, okay, well, I'm going to reach out to him and he's got like 2 brands that he's going to try to pitch to me. You have access to a lot of different things. So I wanted people to understand what they're getting if they reach out to you. We have a question for you. Okay. I feel like LFG podcast is trolling me right now. Okay, why not? They said they want to know what your beef is with Andrew Hiller.
Andrew Hiller. Oh.
At Hiller Fit 2.0. Okay,
yeah.
You do know what he's talking about.
I know exactly what he's talking about. I don't have a beef. He was the one that shot at me. So I didn't know who that guy was. I still don't. Andrew Hiller was a guy that took shots at me because I made a comment on the Garage Gym Experiment podcast about Rogue. And I said, hey.
Oh, I know what this is. Okay.
Yeah. I said, hey, my opinion was, eventually just due to lack of innovation, they're probably going to go out of business. He hated that. And again, I don't know who this guy is, but he hated that. And it took 30 seconds or a minute out of his 20-minute show to like bash me and take me out of context and try to say that he straw manned my argument and tried to say I was something I was not saying. We then got trademark struck on our website because of his video. And ever since, I'm just like, hey, if you want to take shots, that's fine. But I don't know who he is. So I don't have any proof.
Okay. All right. So I should look out for a trademark strike on my website. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, LFGRX podcast. I greatly appreciate what you just did to my retirement plan. This was what I was gonna do when I retire from my job. I was gonna do this full time. Now I guess I'll work at Home Depot.
Just come work for me. I'll
Oh, okay. There you go.
we'll get
Wow.
trademark truck together.
Yeah, there you go. And I can help you lift heavy stuff in your warehouse. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, hey man, what's the best way for somebody to contact you if they
Yeah.
want help finding a rack or if they just
So-
want to talk about, you got
Yeah.
is that the number or what? How do you want them to reach out to you?
Either way, so this is my cell number. I give it out on every podcast I'm on. This is our website. Best way is probably just go through the website. There's a contact form, and then if you want to text me here, you can. I'm very responsive. It's one of the things that sets us apart is the customer service side. So if you, I'm pretty slammed right now. So if you want to shoot the breeze, I'm happy to do it off hours. But if you want to text me about equipment or that kind of thing, I'm very responsive to text. And then our website has all of our inventory on it and all of our equipment. So happy to talk with you guys and anybody who's interested. I love the consultation process. Like this gets me going because it's just fun. I like finding solutions for people and things that actually work, not just pitching somebody on something that's going to make me a ton of money, but not really going to help anybody. So that's my jam. That's where you can contact me.
All right, so we actually have more questions for you.
Yeah, cool.
And then I want to talk about HomeGymCon for a little bit before if you got time. I know we got a few more minutes before you guys open up for the day. So
You're fine.
So the one known as Tom's wants to know, is there a specific brand of equipment that you prefer for somebody who's starting out with a brand new home gym? Is there like a specific brand you could say, hey, I'll just, like I'm not a fan, I'm anti garage gym packages, right? Because I think you should customize.
Oh yeah.
Needs. But if I were to recommend a home gym package, like, okay, this right here will get you started. I think that's kind of like, let's attack it from that angle.
Yeah. So I'm in the same boat, John. Like I do not recommend, I mix and match our packages. So if I have a package, it's never from one brand. Like I've got one right now that includes a Powerline rack, Fray bench, Fringe Sport bar, and some plates by Standard Barbell. But I mix and match because I want people to be able to get the best package for their home gym starting out that's actually going to last a while and not just break down or be some crap from Dick's Sporting Goods. So yeah, if I had to pick one brand, it would be, okay, context. I am so insanely biased because they've been so good to me and their products are so, they're just better than expected, but Body Solid, really. Their GPR 400 rack is, in my opinion, the best commercial grade rack for the money. And most of their products, not all of the products, but most of their products are better than expected once you pull them out of the box. Here's an example. Their Powerline gray squat, like their basic residential rack, they include touch-up paint, and their UHMW on the J cups is like, it's crazy. It's like half an inch thick. It's crazy. Nobody does that. Nobody includes touch-up paint for sure. And then the build quality, once you pull it out of the package, way, way better than expected. So I love the Body Solid brand. Their benches are a little more expensive, but if I had to go with something for a starter home gym, by far their residential rack or even their GPR commercial rack. You could do their bar plates. I mean, that's all just basic stuff, but in an ideal world, you would just mix and match, and I would use them as a base, like their rack for sure, and then mix and match with other brands to get like really good commercial grade benches and bars, stuff that'll last a lifetime. And that's what we're kind of going for here. But yeah, Body Solid, amazing. And I know you're a fan too, but and I'm biased because we're a distributor.
I'm completely a fan of Body Solid. So for one thing, Body Solid has been around forever.
Yeah.
And they have a tremendous track record in terms of home gyms. So they've been around longer than Rogue Fitness. So a lot of people look at Rogue as kind of like the gold standard for home gyms, even though they're not a home gym company. They're a CrossFit supplier. So I remember when Rogue Fitness started. Body Solid has been around before that. So in the past, a lot of their stuff was more like basically club line, what they call club line, what we call commercial grade, right? But then they had the power line stuff. And I remember that in the back of muscle magazines.
Yeah.
You can order it and get it or whatever. And it was, but that's Nick Nilsson, he's got a great YouTube channel, excellent YouTube channel. It's called The Mad Scientist of Muscle. So if you've got like any sort of like body part that's not responsive, you're like, man, I need to exercise for this body part. Or I just want something different to try. Go to Nick Nilsson on YouTube, and he's got something, right? So anyway, so he's done a few reviews for this channel, and he's had his Body Solid rack, I think, for 20 years. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's like you would never tell because you see it, you're like, oh well, it looks brand new in his videos. So I'm just saying, like, I went through all that to say, like, this is a guy who's actually using it. Nick is a seriously strong dude. So he's putting a lot of pressure and stress on this thing, and it's working great. So I'm a fan of the fact they have a lifetime warranty, and you don't make a lifetime warranty on a product unless you know that your product is going to last.
Yeah.
And then to take it a step further, those two things in my mind are equal. They're one of one, because a company's been around 2 years and gives you a lifetime warranty. How do I know they're going to still be around in 3 years? You know, when the thing actually breaks, right? Body Solid has been around longer than some people have been alive, right? And so, like, Body Solid is older than some of my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I got kids in their 20s, and Body Solid is older than them. And so when they say lifetime warranty, I trust them to be around to honor it. So that's another factor. In fact, I did an interview with Scott McDonald, who is CEO of Body Solid. You have as well. And I'll put the link to your interview with Scott, and then I'll put over here in the video and the description, and I'll put at the end in the end screen. I'll put the link to mine, because Scott is a wealth of knowledge. He's a great dude, and he talks about, you know, some of the reasons why they do it. But I also like the fact that they go through dealers like you, so you don't really go to the Body Solid website in order. They want you to go to dealers like you who can educate people on it, because I might come in and say, I want a Body Solid rack, and it turns out I actually need a power line rack, which is going to be a little less expensive, and it's going to fit my needs and be just fine. You know what I mean? So I really like that. So then,
real quick, I want to a couple of things. Here's another reason why I love the Body Solid. So the reason I started carrying Body Solid was because we were pulling out residential and light commercial pieces that were 20 years old, that were immaculate and still ran like they were new. Little things like this. So this is the back part of the GPR rack. This is their lat pull down attachment. You see what they've done? They've retrofitted the pulley system so that, it's plate loaded right now, but if you wanted to at any time,
I see
you could have plates.
You can make it selectorized.
Yeah, who does that? Like, that's engineering. That's thinking ahead. Nobody does this. Nobody retrofits a rack like that. I rep, like I said, 20 or 30 manufacturers. Nobody does that. That's why I love them.
Nice. So that actually segues, and I was planning on doing this anyway. Okay, it's not because he's in the chat, but you know, everybody looked busy because Jake just showed up from Garage Gym Radio, so everybody looked busy. All right, we're professional. But I do want to talk about HomeGymCon, because last year you were there kind of as a vendor, but this year you're going as a content creator. So what are some of the things that people can look forward to? And as I said, you have a really great YouTube channel. Put respect on his name, because when you look at Freedom Fitness Equipment's YouTube channel and you see how many subscribers he has, that is not a typo. Okay. All right. So I'm just preparing you. Okay. So everybody go subscribe to it, add to his billions and billions of followers. And, you know, because we got to get him to that, you know, that champagne lifestyle. He's almost there. I had to book this with his secretary in case you're wondering. But anyway, let's talk about HomeGymCon. What are you planning on doing for HomeGymCon when you go there?
So I love, it's probably the same thing we'll do at IRSA. So the HomeGymCon is the big home gym conference of the year. And I love doing content on a bunch of different things. So similar to what you're doing with like fitness as a lifestyle, doing the deadlift competition videos and doing height tracks around that, looking at all of the different vendors, including Weighted Out. And, I think Fringe is going to be there this year. What was the playground setup? Swing set. Yeah, I want to do videos what I usually do is I go to those events and I take videos with all of the owners and show everybody the products that they're offering, any of the new stuff that they have, and then creating content around that just so we can promote other brands that are doing really good work. Because the nice thing about me is it's not cross competitive to be showing off other brands that we can carry them. Exactly. Which is what I love. So I'll be going around there to kind of scout out what other brands we might be able to carry and also show off other brands. So I think you mentioned at one point, like a rising tide lifts all ships. And I firmly believe in that because in this world, in this fitness equipment world, there's a lot of business to be had and everybody can do really well. And I just love cross promoting that. So I'll do a lot of that, do the deadlift competition, some of the shows that are going on at the same time, and just try to get people hyped up for coming years, especially maybe do some live stream stuff while I'm there, just to show people what it's all about. But it is the best show. It is absolutely the best show anywhere for home gym equipment and home gym content. It is unrivaled. It's better than in my opinion, for home gym equipment, it is better than the Arnold by a mile.
Oh, 100% better. First of all, you go to the Arnold and they could care less.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through some of the stuff that you can do at HomeGymCon that you can't do at the Arnold. You go to HomeGymCon. I've already asked when I was talking to Will at HomeGrown Lifting earlier. I asked him if you go there and you want to buy something, but maybe you flew, so maybe you can't fit a bunch of bumper plates in your suitcase. Can you just buy it there, take advantage of the discount, and then have it shipped to your house? He said, yeah, of course. Every vendor I've talked to so far, I said, yeah, we'd be happy to do that. That's how I got my my bare naked power bar from Bells of Steel. I got it at HomeGymCon, but they shipped it to my house. So I didn't actually have to drive it. I mean, we drove, but I didn't actually have to carry it back in my car with me, right? Even though I have an SUV, I mean, I had a bunch of like video equipment. I didn't want to have a bar on top of it. So there's that. I also love the fact that you have the time to actually talk to vendors. And I mean, not just because you're a content creator, but I mean, like just regular people, you can just walk up and talk to the vendors. But then as a content creator, once they realize you're a content creator, they'll actually start coming to you. And you know how tough it is to track people down and try to do interviews. People think this is like easy. Like people are just like banging on your door like, hey, can I be interviewed? No, you have to go through gatekeepers, which is why getting subscribers helps, because they're going to look you up when you reach out to them. Like, have I heard of you? Do I want to talk to you or whatever? Is it worth my time? And so at HomeGymCon, it's a captive audience. You're like, hey, y'all got to be here anyway. And so it's a lot easier to get the interviews because they don't have to do as much. And so for me, it's just super, super rewarding to be able to do that. And then the third thing is you're going to be there. You said you want to do some live streaming. So I need to get you to sit in with me because we're going to be doing the strongman stuff for Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt's promoting strongman stuff, and he's actually going to be coming on. We have him scheduled for March 1st. Nice. So if you want, you can sit in with me during that. And then also when we do the deadlift party, we can co-stream it if you want. So we're both doing the color commentary and we stream it to both our Yeah, I think that'd be really cool, man. But yeah, I think that in fact, I told Jake, he thinks I'm joking, but I'm like, literally, it's already the #1 home gym show in the world, home gym expo in the world, right? And it's going to continue to be that as the visibility grows, because there are other expos that are bigger, but this is the #1 for home gym owners to come to be treated as if they're important instead of an afterthought. And it's going to continue to be important, in my opinion. Let's check in the chat one more time, and then I'll let you go because I know you got to like get stuff going. So Joey Echeverria says Ashton's about to live that influencer life. He's already living the influencer life. You notice he didn't take you. There's one door he's not going to take you out because that's where the pool is, where he swims laps before work every morning. He dives in there and just kind of like swims laps and reflects on his day. It's amazing. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
It's a pool of money. It's like Donald Duck. You're just swimming in gold.
It's a vault. Yeah. I don't want to say, it's got gold and gems and all. He dives in one side and he dives in where the $100 bills are and comes out the other side where the diamonds are. That's, what a life. What a lifestyle. All right. You don't know it, but those glasses, the frames are made out of gold.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
They're gold. It's a very, very delicate, and all that. Yeah. So anyway, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I've got your website information going across the bottom of the screen right now.
Awesome.
Do you want people to contact you there, or you get the phone number there? Do you want them to reach out the phone number?
So probably
Instagram. I mean, how do you want to?
Probably be easiest to go through the website, contact us. I'm on Instagram, and you can obviously text me at this number here as well. But the website, you can see all of our inventory. So that'll be easiest for people who are just getting to know us to browse through our inventory, new and used. Like I said before, if you don't see something on the website that you really want, reach out to me. I guarantee you we can get it. So website, number one, text me, number two. And if you want to DM me on Instagram, just because it's easier for you, I'm very responsive. So love to help you guys out. And John, really appreciate the opportunity to come on this show. I love what you're doing.
Man, thank you so much. And I mean, look, you literally, when I said you're a sponsor, so just some inside baseball stuff. Ashton was coming on here before he decided to sponsor, but it was in the process of us having the conversation about him coming on. I was telling him, so I have a show rundown that I do, and I share it with all the guests, right? And so in the process of going through that, I mentioned that I do the Friday dance party, and that I was, there's a cost associated with it because I have to pay for the licensing fees for the music. Ashton immediately said he would sponsor it. Like literally, I was like shocked. I came home and I told my wife, I said, "We got a sponsor." She's like, "Oh, really? What'd you do?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know how I got the sponsor." I said, "I'm rewinding the conversation in my head because I'm gonna use that exact phrase on everybody else I reach out to. I don't know how I got it." So, all right. So just for that, this is the Friday dance. We'll let you go out on this. This is the Friday dance party, and this is sponsored by Freedom Fitness Equipment. Go ahead and hit them up because Ashton, as you can see, can hook you guys up with anything you need to help you create the best gym in town right there in your house. And check out this dance party. All right, here we go.
Yourself up, you've been knocked down, get yourself up, you've been shot down, get yourself up, you've been locked down, get yourself up, yo, get yourself
Not the move like that,
up,
dude.
you've been knocked down, get yourself up, you've been shot down, get yourself up, you've been locked down, get yourself up, yo,
Get it,
yourself up, you've been knocked down, get yourself up, you've been shot down, get yourself up, you've been locked down, get yourself up,
There you go.
get yourself up, been knocked down, get yourself up, you've been shot down, get yourself up, been locked down, get yourself up.
There you go, man.
I like
And
it.
so I love that because so many of us dance in our home gyms and all that. It's fun. You're at home, you're comfortable, and then people are tagging me in their videos. They let me share it. So this is such a cool way to be able to honestly lift people's spirits, get things going here, and make this a very fun thing. So I couldn't do that without you. So I wanted to tell you in front of everybody, thank you for what you do, not just for this show, but also for the home gym community. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks, John. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
All right. So that was Ashton. So you guys know that Williams Strength Rack is no longer on the market because I have already purchased it while he was talking. I sent out the thing and I paid him. So sorry, but he's got a ton of other stuff there. So make sure you guys are reaching out to him because he is honestly, if I didn't know, I just proved it. If I didn't know where to find the thing, and I had been searching, but I was like, man, the heck with this. Let me just reach out to Ashton and see if he can find it. And he was able to find the thing for me. No problem. Let's jump into the chat, see what you guys are saying here. Trey Z, Gym Life Beef. Man, heck yeah. You'd be surprised how much stuff, like how much going back and forth. Don't even bring up Titan Fitness versus Rogue if you don't want to get involved in a long argument, all right? Because people get passionate about the brands that they love and all that. Then let's see. Tom says, one notice Tom said, hey, get it. That's right, man. We have a good time here. If you guys want to have your videos added to the home gym, to this Friday dance party, all you gotta do is tag at Garage Gym Life on Instagram, and I will add you to the dance party. The dance party actually goes on Instagram as well, but the only caveat is we only do this once a week. So if you tag me like today, which is Friday, then it's not going to be added until the following Friday. But that's pretty much it. All right. It's just another fun thing, and that also goes for if you have a a workout video. So I share my home gym workout videos that you guys tag me in, and if you want to have your workout video featured as well, then what you're going to do is you want to tag at Garage Gym Life Media in your workout videos on Instagram, and that will that way you can have it featured here on the Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. And so we're always glad to have you guys here. If you've been watching, don't forget to like the stream. I love the fact that you guys are commenting. If you have any questions for Will Whitman, who was on earlier from Homegrown Lifting, go ahead and drop a comment in the chat. If you're watching on replay, put your question in the comment section, and Will come back and he will answer your question for you so that you guys can get that done. And then, of course, I want you to follow at Homegrown Lifting on social media, specifically Instagram. And then Ashton was just on, so you guys want to follow Ashton at Freedom Fitness Equipment on Instagram, and you can reach out to him at his website, freedomfitness.com, freedomfitnessequipment.com. And then don't forget, we've got a promo code. We got a couple discount codes because Will says starting today until Monday, you can save 10% on any homegrown lifting product if you use discount code Best Gym in Town at homegrownlifting.com. So that is actually something that's specifically for this show. He and I talked about it, but he was going to give 5%. And he said after he saw how much people were engaging with him, so shout out to you guys, he said he's going to increase that number. So it is now 10% off until Monday. So today is Friday, February 16th. So you've got until this coming Monday to save 10% off your entire purchase at checkout at homegrownlifting.com, just using discount code Best Gym in Town. I actually don't make any money. That's not an affiliate link. So I'm not going to make any money off of that. That's just a discount that we worked out to give you guys as a way of saying thank you for being here and helping us grow, because you guys are the way that we grow. So please, as I said, hit that like button and hit subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. That will unlock several features for me here on YouTube. And if you are watching on Facebook, go ahead and hit and follow my page, like the page and follow the page, because the more I grow, the easier it is for me to get people in to that you guys will want to see. Okay, so now let's move into my next segment. If you guys were not watching earlier, I already talked about the cost for HomeGymCon. So let's go ahead, and I've got about 8 minutes before the next segment starts. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the breakdown of the cost for HomeGymCon. So let me go ahead and get that going right here. Pull that up one time. All right. So as to just recap, basically, people have been saying that they think that to go to HomeGymCon, like people have been throwing around numbers like $2,500. I've had somebody say $3,000. And quite frankly, this is my second year going to HomeGymCon, and I don't understand how it can cost you that much. And the reason for that is I live over 400 miles away from HomeGymCon. So that's over 400 miles one way. And this was my cost to go to HomeGymCon. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. All right. All right. So I'm going to, and let's enlarge this right here so you guys can see. All right. See if you guys can see that. Let's go. All right. So this is my cost for HomeGymCon. So my cost for the hotel is $159 for the first night, $219 for the second night, and I'm going to be there 2 nights and 3 days, right? So I get there Thursday night, so I'm staying Thursday night, staying Friday night, and then I'm checking out Saturday, and I'll just leave after the deadlift party is over. So my cost for that, including tax, is $427.14. Then I've got the most expensive HomeGymCon ticket, right? You know, I'm not living a champagne lifestyle, but I wanted to take advantage of everything HomeGymCon has to offer. So I've got ticket for both days, so the full event, and I get early access, and I get the dinners, right? And that's $209.99 added to the $427.14. And then I budgeted $50 of gas will fill up my tank, rough, you know, depending on what the cost of gas is in Indiana. But I live, like I said, about, I think 455 miles away from the resort. And so I budgeted 3 fill-ups, right? To fill up 3 times. and that's $150, right? $50 per fill up, roughly. And then I budgeted myself. I'm the only one going this time, so I budgeted myself $200 for meals, aside from the dinner that's included with my HomeGymCon ticket. And that's meals on the road, just driving up and driving back. I'm going to get hungry at some point, so I'll stop and eat, right? So I budgeted $200. I'm probably not going to spend $200 worth of food, but just in case. So that's $987.13. So I don't know where these people are getting these wild claims of $2,500 for HomeGymCon. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm just telling you that this is what it cost me, and I'm just telling you straight up. I don't know how you arrive at $2,500. You have I just don't know. You got to have a gas guzzling car, in which case rent a car that's got better fuel economy. Also, my ticket is cheaper because I purchased my ticket early. There's a benefit. You get a discount for buying your HomeGymCon ticket early. Okay, so that's the smart way to do it. I don't wait till the last minute to get stuff because you shouldn't. All right, and I've got my hotel room at the discounted rate. So the discounted rate, by the way, you want to go to HomeGymCon.com, or you can go to HomeGymCon on Instagram, and you can, and there'll be a link to the hotel, because the discounted rate for the hotel, I believe, is still good. But you want to make sure that I don't know if they're going to run out of rooms. So you want to make sure that you jump on those discounted rates. And again, this is a nice hotel. I mean, there's nothing in French Lick. Nothing. I'm pretty sure Larry Bird didn't live there anymore, right? And so it's because there's nothing in French Lick to do, everything is at the resort. This is not a hotel. This is a resort. I've stayed in some pretty sketchy places related to powerlifting meets, and this is a nice resort. So they've got one of the world's best golf courses at the resort. They've got horseback riding. They've got places where you can kind of camp out if you want to. They've got a spa. You want to go in there and get your pedicure. So my man B2 Deep is in there. You want to show up, you go straight to freaking go to the spa and treat yourself, But if you're bringing like your wife or something, she wants to do that while you look at weights, get her to be in the spa. And then while she's at the spa, you can go buy all the weights you want, and she ain't going to find out till that she gets out. And if you get it shipped to the house, she won't find out till y'all get back home. So, hey, it'll be too late to send it back then. I'm not trying to start trouble in the house. I'm just telling you that these are options that are available to you. But regardless, my cost for HomeGymCon was $987. And that actually may not be the right number. It may end up being less than that, depending on what my fuel cost and my food costs end up being. Okay, so there's that. All right, now let's jump back into the chat. You have to be on pre-workout this early with all that energy. Of course I'm on pre-workout. I told you one of my sponsors. In fact, since you said that, this is a great time to talk about one of our sponsors. I want you to visit shop.gcodenutrition.com and use promo code Best Gym in Town at checkout to support the channel. I've got a little bit of I got the potion made up here. It's in my ice shaker. And so I've got a combination today of Rise. This is the BCAA's formula. And this is the blue slushy flavor, which I've actually mixed with an actual slushy in the past. And that was a good time. I'm just going to tell you that for free. And then I got that mixed with the blueberry bubblegum flavor of their pre-workout. I got 2 scoops of it. I really like this pre-workout because you're not going to crash. And in fact, B2 Deep, this is the exact pre-workout that I gave you some of when we were, you and I competed when you and I competed together the last time. So it wasn't my last powerlifting competition, but it was the last time you and I both competed. So this is the same pre-workout that I gave you a sample of, different flavor, but the same pre-workout. And so, it's really good. The owner is a home gym owner, and he's a really good dude. He has a deep background in the fitness industry. He worked at Animal and helped formulate a lot of their products before he started his own company, G Code Nutrition. So you guys can jump on that. Like I said, go to shop.gcodenutrition.com and use the promo code Best Gym in Town there. In fact, anytime you go anywhere, try to use promo code Best Gym in Town, because we may have some sort of link there and it will support the show. So Joey said it should be good for the next month or so. Okay, yeah. So the discounted hotel rooms for HomeGymCon, I was pretty sure that they're still available. But what I don't know is whether they still have rooms available is what I'm getting at. I don't know because the discount can still be available and they run out of rooms. So when I got my room, there were only two kinds of rooms available. All right. So I got a queen because I'm going by myself. But I think they still had like double beds and things like that. So anyway, whatever. Go to, like I said, go to HomeGymCon on Instagram, and then click the link in their bio, and that will take you to the link for the hotel. And so you guys can go ahead and get your room if you go to HomeGymCon. You also have the option at HomeGymCon of just showing up for the day, just getting a day pass. So there's that. All right, so it is time for our next segment, and we are going to say good morning to the West Coast. That's right. This is our final segment. This is the last 30 minutes of the show. Good morning to the West Coast. I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning getting the show ready. But we have been here going since 6 a.m. Eastern time. So the West Coast is the last coast to wake up. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining the Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. I know you're saying, why is he so loud this early? Because it's the Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. It's my job to wake you up. But today, normally I would play the dance party for you guys again, but today I got something special. Instead, I need to play this for you because the homie Megan Rubian Young just had a birthday, and I want to give her a shout out. So let's go ahead. Shout out to you, Megan. This is Megan in the home gym with her husband, Chris. Chris is an Army veteran. He's actually retired from the Army now. And you guys can see them. I had to get rid of the music because I don't have the license for their music. But Megan does Pilates. She does a lot of rowing and stuff like that. And what I love about their relationship is Megan and Chris, first of all, they're that couple that's like insufferable. They're like constantly kissing and hugging and everything. But you see the two of them are like working out together. So Chris is powerlifting, and then Megan at the same time will be doing her Pilates stuff. So he'll do a set of powerlifting stuff, maybe a set of squats, and then she'll do a set of Pilates stuff. And I absolutely love seeing couples like that who nurture each other, who cheer for each other, who are each other's biggest fans. And so today is Megan's birthday. And I remember when I went down to their house, we did a gym tour when they still lived here in Georgia. And it was so cool to go there because I had my kids with me. I had my son because he's operating the camera. And we had my little girl was with us as well. And Megan was so welcoming. She she welcomed my kids. She was very hospitable to my kids. And if you treat my kids well, I'm instantly one of your fans. So, I think the world of her. Megan, happy birthday. I hope you had a wonderful birthday. I hope Chris is treating you right and making you feel like a queen today and this entire week. It's not just a birthday, it's a birthday week. So I hope you had an outstanding birthday week. All right, now let's go into the final segment. All right, this is the last segment of the day. And I'm going to talk about my criteria for selecting a coach. So I think that, and I'm going to have a blog post about this up at GarageGymLifeMedia.com. It'll be posting at 11 o'clock today. So you guys can read it there if you visit GarageGymLifeMedia.com. But I'll just give you like the high notes right here, okay? So I think that having a coach is important at various points in your journey because the whole point of this is to get better. You're pursuing your fitness goals and you're pursuing them at home. And so number one, that means that you are probably the strongest person at your house. So having a coach will give you somebody to push you because we are often, if you're in a public gym and there's somebody stronger than you, you is like competitive. And so you kind of want to be as strong as them, right? But when you're at home by yourself, probably you're the most knowledgeable person about training at your house. So having a coach gives you somebody to bounce ideas off of. It helps you with accountability, stop you from doing just the exercises that you like, as opposed to the exercises that you need that will push you towards your goals. So a coach is a very good thing, but every coach is not the right coach for you. And so here are my criteria for selecting a coach, and I've had coaches in martial arts. I've had coaches in powerlifting. I had a coach when I played football years ago, back in the 1980s. Yeah, that's right. I played football in the 1980s. One season, wasn't good, too small. That's another story. But I've had coaches across different things. I have a mobility coach, and so let's talk about my criteria. So first thing I look at, and while I'm doing this, if you're watching this, if you're watching on replay, post a comment, and I want you to put your criteria for selecting a coach. And then if you have a coach, I want you to shout your coach's name out and tell me what makes them the right fit for you. So if you're watching this live, whether it's on Facebook or here on YouTube or even on Twitter, post in the chat. I want you to post what your criteria is for selecting a coach, and I'll read it. And then shout, if you have a coach, I want you to give them a shout out and tell me what you like about them, like what made you select them to be your coach. Okay, that way we can learn from each other instead of me just talking. All right. So my number one criteria is what's their coaching record, and by that I don't mean do they have experience in the sport that I'm most interested in, right? I mean, that's good too, right? So if I'm interested, like if I compete, I tend to compete in powerlifting. So if I have a coach in powerlifting, I would prefer that they know about powerlifting, but that's a no-brainer. But what I want to know is what's their coaching record? I don't want a coach who's only coached themselves or who's only coached like one or two people. I want somebody who's coached a lot of people, because the more people you've coached, the more of a sample size you have in terms of like it's like a study group, right? Or a sample size. It's not like you're kind of experimenting on people, right? Because because you never know if this is going to work. You prescribe the exercises for them, and then you kind of wait and see what happens. Like, did they get stronger? Yeah, okay, well, we're going to do more of that. Well, did it not work? They didn't get stronger. They got hurt. Okay, we're not going to do that anymore with them. We're going to switch them to something else, right? So I want somebody who's had experience with as many different body types and backgrounds, athletic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. I want somebody who's got experience with people across different genders. I want them to know how, like, I want them to have experience. Okay. And that was one of the things that I wanted for my martial arts coach, and definitely my powerlifting coach and my mobility coach. So then also, what's the success rate of their athletes? All right. When I started martial arts, I didn't want, I tried a bunch of different martial arts schools, and I was like, and I never went back after like the first or second day, because I'm like, these dudes can't fight. So they were very static. And I'm like, I go up in there and really, I don't know much about anything except like street fighting. And I'm like, I don't feel like any of y'all could whip me. Right. So I didn't stay. Okay. Not bragging. I just said, I don't feel like, I don't need you to teach me if I think I can whip you already. Right. And so when I met my martial arts coach, that was the first time I met somebody who I felt like if he wanted to kill me, there's nothing I could do about it. Right. I mean, I guess I could run him over my wait in the parking lot, run him over with a car. But in general, I wanted somebody who's better than me. Right. But more than that, I wanted someone who made the people he coached better as well. Right. So from a martial arts coach, I can see that the students who have been with him for a long time, they all were very proficient. When I selected a powerlifting coach, I picked somebody who had a track record of making athletes very, very strong. Okay. And my mobility coaches, I picked them because they had a track record, not just of bringing themselves back from injury, but also in helping other people come back from injury and go back to being able to lift normally and have quote unquote normal lives. Right. So number one, how many athletes have they coached? How many athletes have they coached? Is it a big enough sample size? And what's the success rate of those athletes? Not just wins and losses, but injury rates. Are their athletes hurt all the time? I don't want you to coach me if your athletes are always hurt. I know with powerlifting especially, and even strongman, and maybe CrossFit too, but definitely powerlifting, definitely strongman. People get hurt all the time because we push that limit, right? Well, the job of a coach is to stop you from pushing so hard that you hurt yourself. Okay? It's to make you better and make you stronger, not get you hurt. So if your coach is always hurt or his athletes are always hurt, I don't see that as hardcore. I see that as stupid. Okay? I'm not paying you money to get me hurt. I can get hurt on my own for free. Okay? Save that money for my dang insurance copays. I don't need your help getting hurt. So how many athletes have they coached? Is it a broad sample size? What's the success rate of their athletes? And how healthy are their athletes? What are the injury rates for those athletes? Then there's another one. So that's coaching record. Here's another one. How is their demeanor? And what I mean by that is how do they interact with people on social media? How do they interact with people in person? I personally don't associate myself with negative people. So somebody who likes to gossip about other people, somebody who gets involved in a bunch of internet fights, I mean, to a certain extent, people come at somebody, they're going to want to defend themselves. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, like, are they starting fights? Are they bitter? Are they a hedgehog? You know what I mean? Like, they prickly, porcupine, whatever. Are they prickly? Are they easy to talk to? Because think about it. I'm going to be interacting with this person a lot. I'm not trying to interact with somebody I got to walk on eggshells around. And I don't want somebody who's got a persecution complex. So meaning like they think that the whole world is out to get them because that's defeatist. And I don't want them to make me feel defeated. All right. Yes, I've had struggles. Yes, I've had stuff go on. Yes, I watch people who are more successful than me, but I don't feel like the world is out to get me. All right. Again, I don't associate with negative people because negativity is contagious, just like positivity. You hang around with positive people, you have a positive outlook. You hang around with a bunch of negative people, you tend to start having a negative outlook. All right. I ain't trying to, I don't want to do that for free. I'm definitely not going to pay somebody to bring my mood down. Okay. And then what's their mindset? Now, you might think that that is similar to the demeanor, but that's not. So demeanor is more like how are they in terms of personality and how are they as a person? Okay. What I mean by what's their mindset is this person who wants to coach me still learning? Are they still open to learning? Right? Sometimes you meet people who are coaches and they think they know everything, especially if they've been doing it for a long time. Whereas the most successful coaches I've met across multiple disciplines are the ones who always have what we used to call having a white belt mentality. Tell you a quick story. One of the people who taught my martial arts instructor, my martial arts instructor was Chet Blaylock. All right. Rest in peace to Chet. He had a tremendous and profound effect on me, as you can tell by the way I'm talking. And one of the things that he said was, you always need to be willing to learn. You need to be open. I've got a thing downstairs in my gym that he learned from one of his mentors, Richard Bustillo, who was one of Bruce Lee's first generation students. And there's a quote that people often attribute to Bruce Lee, but it's actually Richard Bustillo, where he said, basically you want to seek out your knowledge, you want to absorb what is useful, reject what is not, and then whatever you keep, you want to make it uniquely your own, right? And so because the experience of everyone is different based upon their background, right? So you're going to have a lot of stuff come at you, absorb what's useful, reject what's not useful to you, and then after you've tried it, and then what you keep, make it uniquely your own. But in order to do that, that means you have to be open. You can't absorb if you're not open, right? So you have to be, and then you have to put yourself in positions where you're going to encounter new things. So with that in mind, we were at a seminar that was given by yet another one of my coach's mentors. This is Joe Louis, who was voted the world's greatest karate fighter by Black Belt magazine. He was a 10th degree black belt. He's another first generation Bruce Lee student. Not Joe Louis, the boxer. This is Joe Lewis. Okay. Joe Louis, he lost matches to Chuck Norris because he hit Chuck Norris too hard. Just think about that. Because under the rules of the way they were fighting, you couldn't hit too hard. And so he hit Chuck too hard and he would lose matches. So he said, the heck with that. And basically he started the sport of kickboxing. Okay. He was the first heavyweight kickboxing champion in the United States. And so we're at this seminar that's being given by him. And at the end of it, he asked questions, right? He said, hey, or he said, anybody got any questions? And I was like, so you mentioned that you're always learning. Who do you learn from? And he said, I learned from the white belts. Look, this dude is a 10th degree black belt. And he said that the people he learns that he likes watching and he learns the most from are the people who have never done it before. And he said it's because they haven't been programmed to believe that there's only one way to do something. So if I tell them to do something and, they do it, I may tell them to throw a kick, right? And they go to throw the kick, they may throw it different from me. So now I start watching them to see why they threw the kick that way. I don't get mad because they changed the kick. I want to see why they did it that way. Is it a physical limitation? Is it they didn't understand? Or did they just figure out a better angle for the kick based upon their reflex? So like I may see them do something accidentally and then say, oh, wow, I see a way I could actually refine it and make myself a better fighter. So he was always learning. So when you have somebody who is at the top, the very top of his profession, and he's looking at the beginners with respect and saying, I can learn from even you, then the rest of us, anybody you encounter, should still be willing to learn every day. I don't care what you've accomplished in whatever field, you should still have a white belt mentality every time you show up. I'm not saying discount what you know. I'm just saying you should be open to learning, because if your coach isn't open to learning and you say, hey, look, this thing didn't work for me because of the blah, 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 or you see something, you bring it to him and say, hey, can I try this? It looks interesting to me. Some coaches will tell you no. They'll tell you if you want to do that, you just go ahead and find another coach. Well, look, I don't. This is going to be unpopular, but I realize you need to respect your coach. But you also need to remember that you're paying him. He technically works for you. You hired him to make you better. So if you show up with a suggestion and say, hey, I want to try this, he shouldn't just reject it. If he tells you it's not a good idea, then it's his responsibility to explain it to you. But a coach who doesn't have an open mind won't say that. He won't explain to you. He'll just shut you down and say, because I said so. Well, I'm sorry, but I only got one daddy. And that's just, I'm a grown man. I'm in my 50s. I got one daddy. So nobody's going to do that to me. So that's it. What's their mindset? Do they have a coach? Or at the very least, are they still learning? And are they receptive to feedback from clients? Because I've also left coaches because, again, the feedback thing, I'm like, man, I don't like this. And they ain't listening. I'm like, all right, well, you're about to hear the sound of my wallet closing because I'm not paying you anymore. You're fired. Okay? So there's that. So now I want to hear from you guys. What are your criteria for selecting a coach? And if you have a coach, give them a shout out and tell me, what it was about them that you liked. And then also, if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about that has to do with anything else that we've talked about throughout the entire show, go ahead and hit me with it right now. So let's go here. So CBS True Consumer Reviews says 1,000 thanks to Ashton for sponsoring that dance party. Yeah, man, Ashton's a good dude. And I was serious about saying I want to have him on regularly as a regular part of the show. Not every week, but maybe once a month. In fact, I'll float that idea to you guys. Like, put out a call. So if you guys need help with finding a piece of equipment and you're open to the idea of doing it live, you can reach out to Ashton, and then you guys can work it out, and then you can come on the show. I'll bring you on, so I'll give you the link so that you can actually be in the show with us. And then Ashton will come on and you can see your stuff. And then what we'll do to make it fun is the people in the chat can help you pick out your equipment. They can tell you, like, they vote. Like, I asked for opinions on the Williams strength piece, the power rack. We can vote on the piece of equipment, based on what we know about the company or whatever, especially if this is your first time, or you're a newer home gym owner. And so I think that'd be kind of cool, a cool little thing. So you guys let me know, drop a comment. Let me know if this is something that you think would be a good idea, something you'd like to see, because I'm trying to tailor, just like I tell you guys to tailor your home gym to yourself, I want to tailor this show to you. This is a morning radio show that's on YouTube, but it's also a podcast, but I want it to be interactive. So this is for you guys. And as it grows, we're gonna start having giveaways. You see, I already I'm getting my guests to do discount codes for you guys as a reward for you, those of you who watch live. So I really want this show to be something that works, but that works and is entertaining for you guys. Okay. I appreciate everybody for being here. With that being said, now let's talk about what's coming up next week. So next week, I've got Jonathan from the No Fate 24/7 channel. He's going to be coming on, and we're going to be talking about what he's got going on his channel. And then Nate from Executive Fit, they make custom deadlift platforms. Nate from Executive Fit is going to be joining me as well, and he's going to be talking about what he's going to be doing at HomeGymCon. He's going to talk about some of the pieces that he's making for people. And then we'll also just talk about his business in general. So if any of you guys are interested in a custom deadlift platform, but you haven't pulled the trigger because you kind of have questions, you definitely want to be here next week, because I'll have Nate on and we'll be taking questions from you guys in the chat again. So there's that. So I'm going to go back into the chat one more time. I appreciate all you guys who showed up from Facebook too. Because I love the fact that StreamYard lets me be on Facebook and Twitter. Oh, I knew there was another thing. If you're on LinkedIn, do me a favor. Even if you don't go on there a lot, we're going to do some guerrilla marketing. All right. I need you to go to LinkedIn and look up John Greaves III. That's me. And I need you to send me a connection request or a follow request. So if you don't want to necessarily have me follow whatever you do on LinkedIn, just follow me. And if you want to connect because you've got a fitness brand or a brand that somehow intersects with Garage Gym Life in some way, then you can send me a connection request and I will, accept it, because I need to grow to 150 followers on LinkedIn. It could be a follower or connection, but I need to get 150, because then that will allow me to start streaming this show to LinkedIn. And the reason that's important to me is because I want the brands I reach out to for interviews, I want them to be able to see an example of the show to get an idea of it live, so they know what they're in for when I reach out and say, hey, I want you to come on. And then I also want brands who I may not have reached out to yet to see it and say, and I want them to start contacting me and say, hey, I want to be on the show, right? Because that's just going to make for better content for you guys. So do me a favor, reach out to me, linkedin.com, John Greaves III. It's John Greaves III, okay? If anybody, if you're following Garage Gym Life on Instagram, just message me and I can always DM that to you. But that link is in the description for this video on Facebook, and it's also in the description for the video here on YouTube. So you guys just go to the video description and you'll see that link right there. I really appreciate you guys helping me out. You guys always come in clutch, helping me whenever I say I need you guys to help me out with something like this. So please go connect with me on LinkedIn and help me grow on there, because that's just going to make it easier for me to do a better job of providing the content that you guys want to see. So I'm looking on Twitter, and okay, we're good there. Looking on Facebook, I don't see anything else. I don't see anything new. Please like this on Facebook, like the page, like the video, and then give me a like and subscribe here on YouTube if you have not already done so. All right. Well, it looks like we can shut it down now. I'm going to move on to the next part of my day. I appreciate all you guys for being here. Thank you so much for checking this out. This is the Way Too Early for Friday podcast. We are here every Friday morning from 6 a.m. Eastern to 9:30-ish Eastern time. We always have some of the coolest guests in the home gym community. And I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And I'll see you next week. Peace out.